Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brewbuilt Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brewbuilt line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brewbuilt Conicals. You can trust Brewbuilt with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brewbuilt at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to
Put his tongue up the bung. I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk.
Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah, bring your body armor.
I ran in my junk once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Yes, and welcome to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I understand why you've come into the Hop Grenade. The air is actually on fire outside. When you walk out there, it feels like you're standing in a fireplace.
We've gone too close to the sun.
We have.
Can we back off a bit?
Our rotation has gotten us far too...
Check that.
It's a strange feeling when you walk outside and there are flames on your face.
It's uninhabitable out there. You can't. It's too hot to exist.
It's a warm day.
I cooked breakfast this morning on the sidewalk. It was great.
You're saving energy that way, I think.
See, if I still had my soundboard, here's where I'd be playing the crackling fire sound, and it would really sell it. I'm just saying.
It would take away from my perfect joke.
But the air quality in here is just wonderful.
Isn't it nice?
Isn't it? Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's a balmy 82.
What do you think it'd be like in the garage right now? Let's go over there and see. Knock on the door.
Over. So, today were like the days when I would start at 7 a.m. I turn on the two window air conditioners that we had, which they weren't even in a window. They were ducted in through a vent, and the house AC, and open the door from the house to the garage and blow in the air all day just to make it like 85.
Barely. Yeah, barely good.
So, welcome to Studio Hop Grenade, where it's
Studio Hot Grenade. It's pretty muggy in here. But hopefully it'll get better.
I think it's perfect in here right now. Yeah,
it could be cooler.
Perfect.
I think you were out. You were out jogging before you got here. So, well, that's ridiculous.
What would you like it to be?
I did work out right before.
68? What are we talking here?
68 would be ideal, but I would settle for 70.
Oh, no. Why stop at 68?
This is such bullshit, because I happen to know for a fact, you've said it on here, that you don't even turn your AC on till 78 in your house.
It's not my AC.
Well, now he's working.
And this is balmy.
Those are two different things.
Because we have all the computers and the lights and the dudes and the balls.
But temperature is temperature.
Well, no,
it's not 78 in here.
But it still makes it a lot stuffier in here, which to me makes it feel hotter than it actually is.
And he has to wear a shirt here. Oh, and so that makes a big difference.
I haven't worn a shirt at my house in like 4 days. It's been amazing.
All right, fair enough.
I can actually attest to the truth of that because I was at his house yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was definitely not wearing a shirt.
I invited Ben
because the AC doesn't go on until 78.
Talk over some stuff with our shirts off, but she declined.
Well, that wasn't hot enough then. I think you got to go 81.
Yeah.
It's not just that I'm not going to show my chest to you. It's everybody.
Well, when I came over to his house on Saturday, he took his shirt off but didn't invite me to join the party.
That's wrong.
So I wasn't sure. I didn't feel comfortable.
No, neither did I. Actually, I did.
All right, well, I have a couple of quick announcements to make, and then we can move on with things. The first announcement is that we have a new website at the Brewing Network. The second announcement is that people are assholes. and those two announcements go together, by the way. They are one and the same. Well, so people have been complaining for, I don't know how long.
Yeah.
9 years that we get a new website.
Wow, you got a whole year without complaining.
And I swear to God, I log into the chat today, and all I see is this, new website sucks, and this sucks, and I can't find this, and you suck, and so I kind of jump in and go, hey, how's it going, everybody? What can I help you find? All right, what you're looking for is right over there, and the feature you think is gone is just right over there. And,
nice.
And
good customer service.
Well, it still sucks, and this, and
you should work at Apple.
So finally, I changed my name from guest to Justin just because I was showing somebody else how to do that. And then they're like, oh, hey, Justin, thanks for the show. I've been listening for years, and I wouldn't be the brewer I am without you guy. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's like, well, fuck you then. Why do you have to?
That's what trolls do.
Why do you have to be a dick about it, though? Why don't people just go, and it works with anything. In this case, it's a website, but it could be something else. Hey, I see you have a new website. I'm having a little trouble with it.
Yeah.
Could you help me find this? Or, hey, I see you open a new bar here in Concord. Suggestion, whatever. But no, everybody goes, fuck you, you suck.
The hell's wrong with your glassware?
I think it's the least descriptive feedback you could ever. It's Yelp syndrome, where people just go on and they go. I guess at least in Yelp they describe some fantasy situation, but it's just the whole. Well, the archives suck. Okay, well I'm happy to take your feedback. What about them?
Oh,
Which part?
I have to tell you, then that's a bigger issue.
Because if we're talking about the show content, there's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
I agree with you. The archives suck. But if you're talking about the format of how they're delivered to you on the new website, well, then let me see what I could do.
Right.
People are just, I don't get it.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah.
And the internet.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, at least for me, you don't have that problem because the website broken.
It won't even load.
It won't let me. It wouldn't let me log in, and then it's telling me that my cookies weren't working, and then now it just says error.
Yeah, what the hell's wrong with you, Crosley?
Great.
So you don't have that problem.
We waited 9 years for this.
At least for me, there might be a cap or something. I don't know, but there you go.
You sure you don't have your stuff wrong? Because I'm in, and Beeves in,
No, I was
the rest of the world
and then
is
I
in.
went to log in as me, and then it said that you need to have your cookies active, and so I activated my cookies, and then I went back, and then it says error.
So you can't get in the chat.
I can't get into the website at all, actually.
This is his way of telling you you're fired. The new website.
Yeah, actually.
You can't log in now.
So we're making some changes.
Yeah.
Great.
In order to pay for the new website, we're cutting back.
There was another thing. Someone's in there complaining today, well, clearly they paid for a new chat. When are they going to pay for a new video system? Why don't they host their own video? And I'm just thinking,
of all the things to bitch about.
One at a time. Tell me the problem with the video. One at a time, we'll fix things. Give me a break. What are we, a Fortune 5 million company right now?
We're not even a Fortune 5 company.
Anyhow.
Everything's here in reactive mode. Remember that. There's no proactivity. It's always hey, tell us the problem. We'll fix it.
We'll fix it, yeah.
Right.
We're
not looking for problems.
That's how things work around here.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we did. It's actually been a project in the works over the last couple of years, and believe it or not,
it looks really good to me.
It's been a mess. Thanks, Tasty. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. We sort of secretly decided to launch this weekend, and I want to thank my friend Code for helping out so much and push eject over there. And so, we've been working on it for a long time, and then we didn't want to make too much of a hullabaloo over it, mostly because it's kind of a complicated site, and I knew things would be broken. So we just sort of rolled it out, and we're working through a few of the bugs. So I know that there's some stuff in there, and you can feel free to send it to me if you find some bugs and different things that don't work. You can send it right to Justin at thebrewingnetwork.com, and I'm happy to take your feedback. And it's a bit of a work in progress, but I like it, and I think the point here is there was a bunch of stuff we couldn't do before, like update shows, for example, or add new shows to the lineup. Like the Sour Hour's been in our lineup now for quite some time, and we couldn't give it a home on our homepage. It was just the nature of that old beast. So now we're able to do that, and everything's got a home, and we're going to keep working on it for you. So I don't have too much to say about it other than that, but if you want to send your feedback, please do so. There's a new chat that seems to be working just fine for everybody. Our chat system had been broken for quite some time, too, and now it looks like everybody can get in there and ask questions. So if you've got questions for our guest today, which is the Libertine Pub and Brewery, they're visiting us from Morro Bay, California. They drove up from Morro Bay, which, by the way, is one of my favorite spots on the coast. I'll talk to them about that. If you've never been to Morro Bay, it's a great place to relax and vacation. So the Libertine Pub is here, and I think they brought us some sour beer, which would be exciting. If you've got questions for them, you can hit the live chat button. It's under Community on the homepage. Or you can call us, 888-401-BEER, 888-401-BEER, and you can ask your questions that way. So we got a lot to do with them today. We're also going to, in just a couple minutes here, talk to our friend Sergio over at Melavino Meadery. He's going to give us another Making Mead Right segment, talking about how to properly rehydrate yeast, which I think is an interesting topic we haven't talked too much about.
Real important, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. I want to say thanks to our sponsor, More Beer. They bring you this show and every show, and they've been doing it for quite some time. So go to morebeer.com and check them out. And they've been good to us. You should be good to them, too. Couple other announcements. The California Craft Beer Summit is coming up. It's the first of its kind here in California, put on by the California Craft Brewers Association, and we're going to be a part of it. That's September 11th and 12th. You can go to californiacraftbeer.com and find your information and your tickets there. But we're going to be set up there. We're going to do some video, and I believe we might do a live radio show. That could happen. And there's a beer fest involved and a lot of seminars. You don't even have to be a beer geek to go to the California Craft Beer Summit. In fact, they want non-beer geeks, too, just people interested in beer, and it's there for education. And I think there's going to be some entertainment involved, too, because there's beer. So go join us there. That's September 11th and 12th. If you want to support the show and support that fancy new website we have, you can click the Amazon link on the homepage. It's right there on the right side. It says Amazon. You click that, and then you do your shopping as normal, and we get a little piece of the action. It's a great way to support the show, and we don't even know you're there, except when we do a Amazon Product of the Week.
Like the Vizio 60-inch class full-array LED smart TV. So I couldn't figure this out because I saw it on the listing, and it showed a $64 commission on an $800 TV. I was like, what? I realized the person bought two of them.
Wow.
Pretty sweet.
That's beautiful.
It's a badass TV, and you're a badass for buying it through that link. And so it should be even simpler, right? Because now you don't even have to scroll down. It's just right there on the right-hand side.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it works on, I think our site works like on your mobile phone now and things like that, too. So you can scroll down and click the Amazon link if you want to shop on your phone.
Nice.
So go check it out and support us that way. Thanks for doing that. Why buy one TV when you could buy two?
Exactly.
I've always said that.
Subscribe and join the BN Army. There's a donate button on the right side of the page.
I like donuts!
Yeah, click the donate button, and if you become a recurring donor, you're entered into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. That's a gift certificate for $100 to More Beer. Plus, you get our newsletter and first dibs on tickets and things like that. So hit that button and support us. Get all these updates and more over on Twitter,
Facebook,
and the other one. Send your show ideas to Scott the Jew. That's Scott@thebrewingnetwork.com. Send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Do we have a Twitter game today?
We sure do, Justin.
Twitter game is brought to you today by our friends over, and I really mean our friends because they are taking us on an awesome vacation, the Labruski Cruise.
Yeah!
That's right. Us and I don't know how many hundreds of our other favorite friends and homebrewers and beer people, all on a boat. We're on a boat.
We're on a boat. We will be on a boat.
We're going on a boat.
We don't reenact
a beer boat.
The scene from Titanic.
The iceberg one?
Then we've missed not the iceberg one, the romantic one.
Which one of us, me or you, JP, is going to be, what's her name?
King of the world.
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. Yeah.
I don't know.
Hang on, Doc.
Doc's not even on.
There's 6 or 7 of us in a row.
All doing it.
Yeah.
We can't all be kings, though, can we?
It's a train. It's a king of trains.
Well, like a king and a jester. And
I'll be the king of the world.
There, we're gonna.
And you guys can just stand in front of me.
You realize that whoever the king is gets held out over the front of the boat. Isn't that how they did it in the movie?
The girl goes out the front.
That's you.
No, I'm the king.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
got it.
Yeah, I'm just talking about getting banged in the old car and getting called.
You didn't even care about the other.
No, I don't give a shit.
I'd like to not take part in it.
Yeah, just want to climb in that Model T and
steam up those windows.
Yeah,
I just want to float on a life raft that's sinking.
Yeah.
JP, do you know how to swim?
Not very well.
Then you're going on a boat?
I don't know how to swim as well as Terrence does.
It's a big boat, and it has a lot of little boats if it goes down.
Yeah,
I think
not enough
So did the
little
Titanic.
boats.
Yeah.
Right.
Just wear your life jacket the whole time. It'll be cool.
Where can people find out more information about the Labruski?
LabruskiCruise.com. They keep pushing back their release date for when they're doing their final announcement, but it should be any day now. And you send in your witty submissions to our Twitter game, and you get entered to win a spot on the cruise, your very own cabin for two.
Beautiful. Can I enter and get an extra cabin?
And there's probably one of those things like family members and friends.
Yeah.
Like you can't enter a contest on the BN, can you?
No, I can't. But I'm a dick. I thought maybe they're cool. Like Tasty needs a cabin for two.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like maybe Tasty can enter.
Well, hey, if you're really funny and you submit, I mean, we make the rules.
I want to just have this girl I know to enter, and then.
Oh, there you go. And you're her plus one.
There you go.
Now that's a loophole I can get behind, Tasty.
Who
I
else
think
would you
that's
choose?
fine.
She has no choice but to choose me.
And then you give her the flu week before. She can't go.
I guarantee you that's not in the fine print. That you can't be invited by the winner.
Definitely.
Right?
Oh, I'm sure that'd be really fine. That'd be fine print.
Well, like Scott said, they haven't released all the small print yet, it sounds like. So
Right.
they're probably listening right now.
Damn it.
Since I won't be able
The
to
whole
read the fine
chapter.
print, could I also compete?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. All right. What's our Twitter game?
Well, here in sunny California, as everybody in this room knows, but maybe not everyone on the other side of the microphone, the epic wildfires that we're experiencing now have consumed well over 200,000 acres since late July. Who from the Brewing Network would be best at fighting the Cali wildfires and why?
Okay. It's a very serious one, it seems.
Very topical, too.
Yes. Well done.
It's like your favorite
For all the
cream.
local listeners.
Yeah. It's like your favorite cream from your best doctor. Very topical.
I love it.
Thank you.
I could help.
All right, so that is our Twitter game today, and if you're chosen as our winner, you're entered to win a chance to go on the Labruski.
That means you won, right?
You didn't win the whole shebang.
Sure?
You entered to win the whole shebang.
Entered.
Yeah. And knowing us, we'll make you go through 8 other hoops before you. There'll be a lot of shebangs before the bang.
Embarrassment.
Have you guys been to the Caribbean before?
The Caribbean?
No, the Caribbean.
Isn't the place we were just at in Mexico considered part of the Caribbean?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So, yes, I have.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I think of it as the Gulf of Mexico.
I've been several times. A lot.
You have?
Well, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland.
Right.
Yeah.
So
A couple
virtually.
minutes at a time.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
I've cruised around.
A lot of pirates.
If you add them up, it might be like a half a day's work.
You've done an actual Caribbean cruise, Doc?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where Doc hides all his money. Are you kidding me?
He goes to make a deposit.
He goes there to look at it.
Hey.
I'm looking forward to it. It's in March, right? So
That'd be good.
Yeah, so it'll be snowing, right?
I think it'd be a hurricane or something.
Is that hurricane season? That's why we're getting such a great deal.
Exactly. We're all drunk. What do you care?
Here's what I'm thinking on the way back. Stopping off in Kentucky and doing the Bourbon Trail.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm doing that in
It's
October.
so close.
You're doing that already, Moscow?
Me and my pops.
No kidding.
And a few other people, yeah.
Nice.
In October.
Wow. Yeah, I'll pass on all
Push
that.
is on the phone, and he actually just called to quit
Oh, no, he can't quit.
because he doesn't know anything about this cruise, and he's highly offended.
Push, you are already on the guest list, dude. I just didn't. I just notify you.
Surprise!
So never mind.
Yeah, you're
in.
You're like no. Look, it goes like this.
Too bad you already quit.
It goes
I guess I'll
me, and then you, and then everybody else. You're always on the list.
That means you're working.
Explain it to him.
Only because you carry the bags.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea if I actually listen to the show. Like, then I would know.
True, because if I thought that was our way of intercompany communication, because I've been announcing it for a month now.
Don't you know about our announcements?
Well, I thought it was okay, like if you maybe emailed or texted me, or if I heard a weird rumor on Twitter, but I didn't know I was supposed to listen to the show.
Well, you didn't, but I have sent your full legal name to the cruise people, and yeah, you're in. Even if you already have that date booked, too bad.
If the only reason Push is listening today is because he's making sure that the website doesn't crash while we're on the air. So frankly, he might not have even found out until he saw his face published somewhere on the Labruski cruise.
On February 28th. You got your bags packed, Push, for what?
No, it's totally true. Like, I would never have known.
So you're right. First week of March, Push, you belong to us, and you're going to be in the middle of the Caribbean.
You know what? No problem. Hang on 1 second. Hey, honey, listen, I'm going to the Caribbean without you. I'm sure that's fine, right?
This is how passive-aggressive Push is.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem at all, guys.
Hey, Push, why don't you start working on
Lot
getting
of
me in the
doors,
chat
man.
room? This is stupid. This chat sucks.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, I got to go because I got to fix Guest 99's problems right now. So, okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Guest 99 is one of my favorites.
Give him a hey.
He's just in there being a grumpy dick. Have a beer already.
I am having a beer.
No, not you. I meant Grumpy Dick
Oh.
99.
He doesn't drink anymore.
I think we should have a way of changing everybody's name to Grumpy Dick and whatever number they are.
If we had moderator powers, I think we could.
do
You
it.
might think twice about your tone.
Oh, yeah, like if you act up in the chat, let's not ban you. Let's change your name to like Mega Ass.
And then everyone can go, ha ha, mega ass. There needs to be a little sound file that we play.
Oh my God.
We need a
Are
moderator.
you bringing back the board?
People just get so upset. Grow up, everybody. What, don't you have something else to do anyway?
Yeah.
What are you still listening to this podcast for after 10 years?
Good question.
Boy.
I got nothing else to do.
All right. How about we talk to our friend Sergio over at Melovino. Sergio, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Sergio, can you provide some good content so people will have a reason to keep listening?
Yes, please.
Oh, God. Yeah, so let's talk about yeast rehydration.
There we go. Let's go right to it so that we do something right for a change, Sergio.
Yeah, here's the most exciting news you'll hear, right? Yeah, so as far as mead made right goes, basically yeast rehydration is a big topic. It's almost as important or just as important as nutrient additions when it comes to making mead. So,
Sergio, can I ask a question before you move on? And maybe we've discussed this already, but why are we rehydrating at all? Do we not use liquid yeast ever in making mead?
I wouldn't say never. I mean, Y Yeast, for example, sells, and those other guys, they also sell some like liquid yeast alternatives. But in the majority of the mead making scene, commercial and home brewing side, most of the yeast that's used is dry wine yeast.
Okay, fair enough.
So when we talk about rehydrating yeast, on the back of all these yeast packets, there'll be some rehydration protocols or instructions, which most people take to actually rehydrate their yeast. The people that are making good mead, though, are also not only rehydrating their yeast with just the water as per the directions on the packet, but they're also adding in a product called GoFirm as a yeast energizer. So here's the biggest mistake that most people make is they simply just follow the rehydration protocol on the back of the packet. But if you're going to be using a nutrient energizer like GoFirm during rehydration, everything changes. So what ends up happening is if you just add GoFirm to the amount of water used to solely just rehydrate the yeast, you're not adding enough water, basically. You're creating too saturated or too concentrated of a solution for the yeast to really be able to absorb all that yeast energizer efficiently enough.
Okay.
So there's actually some calculations that go into calculating exactly how much water to use, and it all kind of works its way backwards. So once you know your starting volume and your starting gravity, you'll be able to determine how much yeast you will need to use, rather. Once you know how much yeast you're going to need to use, you'll then be able to figure out how much yeast nutrient you can use. And with how much yeast nutrient will then depend on how much water you use for the rehydration steps.
Okay.
So that's a big tip that a lot of people don't consider when rehydrating their yeast and making mead.
Factor in for both ingredients, the nutrient and the yeast.
Yeah. And I have everything broken down really nice and easy on the website I put together for this little segment that we got going on here on meadmaderight.com, and I have it all broken down so anybody can refer to it anytime they want. But, you kind of work your way backwards, in other words. So makes a big difference. And you're going to have a lot less risk of stuck fermentations. You're going to have... if you do it correctly, also, you're going to have a really great yeast starter, basically, to pitch into your mead. That's going to give you great results. So, and it does go hand to hand with my whole tailored organic staggered nutrient addition protocol as well. If you don't have a good yeast starter or rehydrate your yeast properly, no matter what you do after that, you're just not going to get the best mead you could get.
Okay.
Are you adjusting the time of rehydration from the general instructions, or is it still just proofing it basically?
Yeah, no extended time needed. It really all comes down to just getting that Go Firm diluted into that water. And what ends up happening is you start off with the hotter the water, the better, because the first thing you're going to want to do is dilute that Go Firm. In colder water, it really clumps up. Just think of the worst dough ball situation when you're mashing in, right? It'll never rehydrate no matter how much you stir it with a fork or a whisk or anything. So the hotter the water you use to dilute that Go Firm, the better. And then as soon as the temperature drops down to 104 degrees, that's when you pitch your yeast. So you're going to want to measure how much water you need. Once you know how much water you need, you dilute your Go Firm into that, and then wait for that to drop down to your 104 temperature to throw your yeast in for proper rehydration at that point. I mean, I've actually even posted up a video on Mellow Vino's Facebook page. We've been doing a lot of 5-gallon experimental batches, so it's kind of fun going back to the 5-gallon scale after all this time.
I bet.
And I actually shot a little 10 or 15 second video of one of our yeast pitches rehydrating to the tunes of some Jimi Hendrix.
Nice.
And it almost kind of looked like everything was kind of proofing in beat with the song, which is pretty dope.
You took mushrooms that day.
So yeast likes Jimmy.
Nice. Do you recommend boiling the water or even boiling the Go Firm and water mixture to make sure it's sanitary before adding the yeast?
No, I never bother with that, and that could kind of go hand in hand with the whole boil versus no boil debate in the mead world, where a lot of people feel like they need to boil their must, their honey and water mixture to pasteurize it. But my response always is, well, what are you pasteurizing? Yeah. Honey's the only food source in the world that never spoils. As long as you get a good yeast pitch going in, I don't see any reason to boil the must or boil the water for the yeast rehydration at all.
And how long does the rehydration take? Does that have to sit overnight, or is that just a pretty quick thing? Just getting everything wet?
No. If you're doing a proper yeast pitch for your starting gravity, honestly, you're talking 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's really just the rehydration practice itself. You could, if you're going for some really crazy high starting gravities for some meads, which you could get pretty high with meads, but you could do a yeast starter overnight or whatnot, but it's not going to hurt you at all. But yeah, you're just talking about a standard 15 to 20 minutes, no longer than that.
Do you step down the temperature of the yeast starter, for lack of a better term, to kind of what the whole batch temperature is?
Yes, yeah, that's a pretty good point as well. You don't want to throw in your yeast, your rehydrated yeast into your must if it's anything more than 12 or 14 degrees difference. Otherwise, you're just going to cold shock all your yeast, and all the work you put into getting that yeast properly rehydrated is just going to go to waste. What I normally do, it kind of all depends on room temperature. I might let it sit out, and depending on how. I'll just check the temperature difference basically between the starter and the must. And if it's that big of a difference, I might start tempering the yeast with a teaspoon or a tablespoon at a time, adding that mead into it and just kind of stirring it, giving it a minute, add another tablespoon or two until it kind of reaches some kind of a closer range of temperature.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Super exciting, right? Yeah.
It's all good stuff.
It is good stuff. Yeah. Mead makers are loving it.
Hey, meadmaderight.com looks better than the new BN site. What the hell's up with that, Jay?
Damn it. Does it?
Wow, look at that
Get on
thing.
this.
Let me go look. If not, can I just yell at you about things that don't even matter?
Yeah, sure. I'll respond as guest.
Good. Do it. Here,
I'll let you vent.
Let me go check this thing out. Meadmaderight.com. Oh, yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty nice.
I made that website about 2 hours before our first Mead Made Right segment.
Oh, fuck you again.
2 hours versus 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Hey, didn't you just win a bunch of crap, Sergio? What happened?
Yes. I think it was 2 weeks ago now at this point. but prior to that, we decided, you know what? I wonder what would happen if we entered our meads into a wine competition. And we had a big wine competition, one of the biggest in the country is the Indy International Wine Competition. And they had a mead category, go figure. So there were, I think, 80-something professional. It's all professional. Well, they did have an amateur side of the competition, actually, now that I think of it. But on the professional side, they had 80-something entries, I believe, in mead. And they only awarded 19 awards. We won 13 of them.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, including best of class, yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's a big deal.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet, man.
How long has your mom been putting on a mead competition?
That was pretty cool, actually. I was just telling the guys that been helping me out at the meadery. I said, if we just win one or two, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Right.
And then we checked the results on a Sunday afternoon, and we're like, wow.
Congrats, man. That's rad.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And how's it going at the tasting room?
Awesome, man. August has slowed down a little bit, and this is our first August since we've been open. So
isn't everybody like down at the shore in August or something out there?
Yeah. Nobody goes to the beach in Jersey. We go down the shore.
We're going to the shore.
So it makes sense. You'd slow down a little bit.
Yeah, no, it slowed down a little bit, but yeah, even until now, we're fully booked every single weekend. 200 people every weekend coming through our doors for tours and tastings.
That's amazing.
And we'll start distribution actually by the end of January or early February. We got our big tanks that we ordered a few weeks ago coming in October. We're adding basically another 10,000 liters of production capacity starting this October, and we've recently been dubbed the fastest growing meadery in the country.
Wow.
Actually. Yeah, we're jumping from 7,000 gallons a year production to 30,000 gallons a year production.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That's a lot, man. I remember when we first talked to Sergio, and he was just home brewing with a great business plan at the time and just going for it. And look at you now, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I love it.
We'll celebrate our 1-year anniversary next month.
All right. Come to California and do it.
Yeah.
Because we got a beach.
Yeah. All right, Sergio. Thanks, dude.
All right, guys.
Melavino Meadery, ladies and gentlemen, go check it out. And if you want to read more about the tips that Sergio gives us, meadmaderight.com. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Talk
take
to you
care.
soon.
There you go. That's Sergio from Melavino. Good guy, always giving us some good information. All right, we're going to take ourselves a quick break here. When we come back, we've got the boys from the Libertine Pub with us, and I think they brought a whole bunch of really good beer.
Nice.
So I hope you all brought your designated drivers. It's The Session. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood. Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out! This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls.
Marquis, stop. Look.
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse
with fresh food
and craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome!
The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
The Brewcasters are back.
It ain't 401 beer.
Whatever.
All right. Welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Just got a little pick-me-up in here from the Libertine Pub.
Cocaine.
Tell you about it in just a moment, but first, go over to beersmith.com right now and get your free trial of the Beersmith brewing software. It is fantastic brewing software. All your recipe stuff can be in there, and it does everything you need and probably more things that you don't need, but you'll have fun geeking out with it because you're a beer geek, just like the rest of us. Go over to beersmith.com right now and download it. Plus, there's a podcast over there. He's got DVDs. He did one with our friend John Palmer, and you name it, it's over at the beersmith.com website. Go check it out right now.
And I think if you order, you get 10 free gifts, right? Is that
different one?
Oh, different DVD.
Different
okay.
DVD. Yep.
Got it.
Brad might give you a handy if you order enough DVDs, but a totally different website.
John Palmer is still in those DVDs.
Yes.
He looks like a handy kind of a guy.
Yeah, he's handy. All right, we've got the dudes from the Libertine Pub out of Morro Bay. Tyler Clark, he's the owner and brewmaster, and Paul Ray, the head brewer.
I wouldn't say brewmaster.
With more of a brew guy.
Yeah.
The reason I put that on the show notes is you've got Paul listed as your head brewer. So
Yeah.
you got two head brewers? That's just
I'm
crazy.
Just the yokel that stands around. No, we say what a head of brewing operations sounds.
That's
fancy.
what you are?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a lame title.
Yeah,
right? Brewmaster's better.
No, but I haven't mastered anything other than something probably can't say on here. So.
Got it. All right, but you're the owner of the Libertine as well? Mm-hmm. Involved in the brewing process, I'm sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Paul is your head brewer. He's also in the studio
Way
with us.
smarter than
too.
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Paul. Paul, where'd you used to brew?
Telegraph Brewing Company in Santa Barbara.
I thought so. Okay. In Santa Barbara, right.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, welcome to the program, guys. I want to dive right in because you gave me a coffee beer that you said would make me cry. And, I'm paraphrasing. But this is a hell of a strong coffee beer.
Are you getting emotional?
I am already getting emotional.
Yeah.
I'm also getting my caffeine fix. So you guys got to tell me about this beer.
We're going to be up all night. Okay. So this is actually not beer. It's cold brew. So
I knew it. It's actual...
This is not beer.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't taste like beer.
Yeah.
Got it.
So as well as brewing the weird wild ale stuff we do, we also now have a line of cold brew coffees that we steep in old bourbon and wine barrels.
Oh, nice.
So we have a local roaster, Slow Roasters, and they make us our own little custom roast, and then we throw it in there. This one has mint, actually, from the garden in my backyard that my 4-year-old grew for you. So
nice.
Thank you, Aubrey, for making
Child
us delicious
labor.
mint. Yeah.
It's very homey.
Yeah. Very free. Very free. I like free stuff.
Yeah.
And then
what does
some
it take
like
to grow mint? Don't you just
little
wash it?
4-year-old fingers, evidently.
And a gallon
little
of water.
bucket, little cute little pour bucket. Yeah.
That's why you've been unsuccessful, Warren.
Yeah. Oh, the water part.
The 4-year-old.
Yeah, you need little children to. But yeah. So, anyways, this was a 48-hour steep. It's on nitro at the new tasting room we have, but in the growler, it didn't really. Yeah, it didn't. It lost its nitrogen.
I've never had. I don't
Pizzazz.
think this is a thing. Like, just people drink cups of cold brewed coffee like this.
Yeah,
We drink a lot of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the new hotness, bro.
It is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had one, but I
Well, it's
really
less-
like it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's much
less
smoother. It's not harsh.
Yeah,
It's smooth.
exactly. Yeah, because there's no heat to it, so it's cold the whole time. It's in our big walk-in. It sits there for 48 hours, and it just pulls all the good stuff out of coffee, and not the. Paul knows more than I do. Tell him, Paul.
Less of the harsh like acids and bitterness that you get in hot coffee, so it's softer.
And you just
Higher
pour
pH.
pints of it at the pub, or what?
No, we pour 3-ounce taste of it.
Little taste of it, okay.
We pour pints for ourselves.
Because it's a long work day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
Oh no, we literally fill up
Yeah, I
giant
drink a lot of
glasses.
How's it taste when you heat it up?
Why would I don't know?
But that's
why
kind of
would
a
you do
good.
that?
But that's kind of a good question
Yeah, we
because
don't-
you've taken all of the harshness out of it. But then if someone like me is used to a hot cup of coffee, I could heat it up at the end. I'd have this great non-harsh.
Yep.
You guys are looking at me like I'm crazy though. That,
No,
defeating
that's
the
good.
purpose.
Yeah. Why don't you just piss on my dreams, Justin? I worked a long time on this. Okay.
Yeah, there's a good coffee shop down the street. I would recommend walking down the street to get a
We have
coffee.
a ton of great coffee. St. Louis
come
is
to our
full
tasting
of
room to get a
amazing
really
coffee.
nice shop.
Maybe they
Nitrogenated
cold brew and then heat it up after.
Yeah. Maybe that's the trick.
Who else is doing cold? Like who's doing this?
Oh, a lot of people. Yeah, we didn't like make this up. This
Okay.
isn't. I'd like to say like we're the first person ever, totally smart over here. But I've never heard of anybody doing it in a barrel.
Yeah.
Which necessarily, if that's actually good or not, I don't know. But it was just something. We do everything in barrels. So I thought, hey, we drink a shit ton of cold brew coffee, and it's really expensive, and so let's make it for ourselves, and we'll throw it on tap too because it'll be fun. So
I like it. It's really nice.
So, mainly what we do is just so I can save money on things. As you can, it's a theme at the brewery. So it's like sour beers are really expensive. Let's make sour beers that way we don't have to buy them anymore. It's
Right.
Is there anything like that you are wrecking our palates because the beer's coming up and I need to make sure they're not quite tasting it perfectly.
Evidently, you haven't had our beers before because they're very strong and they'll wreck your palate.
I see.
Either
So
way.
this is a nice prelude. Plus, it's a little pick me up. Open up the senses.
I'm already jumping out of my seat.
Yeah. Actually, when we do like tasting barrels and doing blends, a lot of times I'll like actually have coffee beans down there and smell them to like cleanse your palate and start you over after smelling and tasting 5 or 6 barrels in a row. You start to get that, what is it, palate fatigue or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
So actually now a lot of times I'll have, little coffee there.
And
Maybe
this
your palate.
without the bitterness and all the acids that you're talking about is a regular cup of coffee would not be a palate cleanser. That would not be nice. But I could
Right.
see without all those components in this, yeah, why not?
Yeah, we'll sip. And plus, it never gets hot, so it's not like, ew, this is cold coffee.
Yeah.
So you can, like, at the brewery, we're there 12, 15 hours a day, so it's nice to just, like, drink coffee all day, and you're not like, oh, this is cold and gross. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be rad. Let's drink, like, pints of this. How old is this one? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just drink it.
Just drink it. It's just cold coffee.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the history of the Libertine. You guys are only a couple years old, right?
3.5 years old now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you doing before you started the brewery?
Been in the beer industry my whole life. I'm 31 in like 4 days.
Okay.
He looked at his watch as he said that.
Well, I look 17.
He's got a fancy watch.
So it's like, yeah, it's my aunt got me that. I don't have money for fancy watches.
I see.
But so since I was 18, I started stocking shelves before I could even drink beer as a merchandiser for a beer distributor.
Okay.
worked my way up. Santa Cruz, San Diego, the whole gambit. I was
is that an accident, or were you into beer and you just thought, I want to be
accident.
in the... Okay.
Yeah, my buddy, actually Brian Rounds, who's still in the industry in our area, was like, yeah, I got a job for you. It's like in the beer industry. And I was an 18-year-old kid. You're like, yeah, I can't even drink beer. I mean,
perfect. Yeah,
I couldn't.
We know
drink
that guy,
beer.
don't we?
Sure.
Yeah.
He's a Stone, right?
Yeah. No, Brian Rounds is Central Coast Distributing.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good old
That's
BR.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you said he's a stoner, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, no, actually,
pretty healthy guy, actually.
So I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
yeah.
Total bath salt freak, but pot, no.
But offered me a job stocking shelves at 18. I'm like, yeah, beer's cool, and then just been stuck in it ever since, I guess. So.
Did you homebrew throughout any of this process?
Yeah, pretty much the whole time. Okay. And I did on-premise, off-premise sales. I drove forklifts, and I was a draft technician. I did a little bit of everything on that end of it.
That's
good.
And, good background.
What was fun, too, is you'd go and you win an incentive to go to Coronado and go hang out there. And all of a sudden now you're hanging out with brewers and friends. And most of the guys you'd go with are these seedy old distributor guys that don't give a crap, and they're like, yeah, I'm away from my wife, I'm gonna go chug beer. And I'm like, can we talk to the brewers some more and look at the cellar? And so I started getting these relationships and talking to people, and then that's why I said I'm not a master brewer or anything, but I've learned enough, and I have 5 people on speed dial, like Jamil, for instance. I know you guys all obviously know Jamil, but
he's all right.
That guy's been huge help to us. We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him. And Ryan at Coronado Brewing is a good friend of mine, and
excellent.
Yeah, all kinds of. Everybody's been awesome and helped.
But
us
you had
out
a pro brew gig as well, right? You were a brewer.
Yeah,
for
I worked at a place called Tanner Jack's. It was a little brew pub on the Mesa that did 100 barrels a year or something. I wouldn't really say it was a pro.
Okay.
We brew beer here, and you can take over. You don't want to work for a distributor anymore. And I, blew it a lot and figured shit out, and then now we decided to do barrel aging. And
was your goal the whole time to open a brewery? When you're meeting these people.
I mean, everybody always dreams as homebrewers of opening their own brewery, but it just kind of. It took a lot. I mean, it's it fell into place. I mean, it was years and years and years of things. But, I think if you prepare yourself and put yourself in the right place, and then
and then go for it.
When those opportunities come, you take them. So I've just grabbed opportunities when they came by and told people that, sorry, these are my opportunities, and I'm taking them.
And so you opened in Morro Bay,
yep.
Which is a cool little... It's kind of a vacation spot, right? I mean, obviously people live there, but it's a spot on, just for our listeners elsewhere, it's a spot on the central California coast, almost in the middle, really.
It's right, it's kind of still, I consider it Southern California. It's kind of right in that corridor. San Luis Obispo is the closest city on the 101.
Yeah, okay.
And that's about 15 minutes. It's on the beach, so the pub is actually on the water in Morro Bay.
That is rad.
And
but there's not much to Morro Bay, population-wise.
10,000. What is it? It's a... what is it? A fishing town with a drinking problem? What's it's
a drinking town with a fishing problem.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a small town like that, but people do pass through and sort of vacation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've stayed there for weekends at a time just because it's a quiet, awesome spot. Why did you open there?
It wasn't my first pick, but I met a guy that was had a brew pub, and he didn't have a brewer, and I was brewing another brew pub, and he needed somebody to brew the beer. And I showed up, and actually it was he had one of those Type 75 license, and it was literally
What is that one?
It's the brew pub where you get liquor with it.
Oh, okay.
And I show up, and he's like, yeah, I can't make beer that tastes good. And I'm like, well, yeah, hopefully I can help maybe a little bit with that. And literally all it was these buckets of malt extract with for 5-barrel batches. That was just a bright tank. I mean, there was no heating. The only heating was you plug it into the wall, and it was a heating like
a coil.
You just stick it on the bucket or heat it up, and then you put 1 ounce of dry yeast. 1 ounce. It said Australian yeast, and that's all it said. And it was this 1 ounce packet. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't get it." And I'm like, "Whoa,
wait, what year is this?"
This was
1872,
4.5 years ago, maybe.
I feel like it would be even difficult to find that kind of ingredient.
It was. Yeah, it was.
No. This Type 75, you can subscribe to a company that provides you all the ingredients. You just have to make beer once a year.
Yeah.
You don't even have to serve it.
And the company sends it to you.
It's an East Coast company.
It's like if you brew beer there, you can get this 75.
I see.
Just the alcohol license. That's all they want.
Those licenses are popping up all over San Francisco because they're limiting just beer bars in San Francisco. But the 75 license or liquor licenses. So the 75 license allows people to actually have a liquor serving bar. So they throw in these malt extract breweries, tiny brew pubs that are just too small to do anything.
Interesting.
So they get their liquor license. So
Got
they're
it.
popping up all over in San Francisco.
Okay. What a weird thing. All right.
So, I show up and I'm like, well, where do you want to start? Why this isn't good? And so I start talking to him, and rad guy named Burt Caldwell, entrepreneur his whole life. He's in his mid-60s and kind of fell into this brew pub thing and was trying to get a liquor license because he was a real estate developer and had the whole .com thing dropped, and he had this like restaurant in the water in Morro Bay that wasn't even supposed to be a restaurant. It was supposed to be like a conference center or something. And he's like, crap, now I got to run a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then had this thing, and so I long story short, but it's already been long.
It's okay.
So I start talking to him. I'm like, well, here's the deal. Like, if you're gonna do this, you got to do it right. And he starts like, oh, this kid semi knows what he's talking about. And my whole thing is I'd worked for people my whole life, and I was tired of working for people. And I'm like, I want to, have my own thing. And so we partnered up and,
interesting.
Got rid of actually we still have those 5-barrel bright tanks we still use actually as like little fun one-off batch bright tanks. It's kind of funny. We actually just brought them to the new production facility and looked at them, and they look all funny. We have a third, actually one of Jamil's old uni tanks, which for him probably looks funny now to him, but that's like a huge for us. And we're like, we got these little 5-barrel bright tanks.
So his place was called the Libertine Pub.
No, it was called Embarcadero Grill.
Okay. And you basically came on as a partner and turned it into
Libertine Pub.
The pub, okay, with a brewery inside, with an actual brewery inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so, we started brewing weird beers, and we were really limited on space and money and equipment. And so we started like, okay, well, what can we do? My wife Shannon's a huge sour fan. Yeah. And I am too, but
so did you give him a sour beer, and he's like, no, I told you I was trying to fix the beer here.
No, he didn't. One of the things with him was like, okay, I have carte blanche on like brewing stuff. Like, you just gotta like trust me on this one. Like, and that was one of the things, like the books and all those things. Yeah, that's all you. That's rad. But when it comes to like, the draft lineup, hiring and firing, and the beer and what we're brewing here, that's my
excellent,
side of the pen. But so we started experimenting with different fun things, and we ended up kind of sticking with Stein Brewing, like raw beers.
Yeah, I saw this in my notes, and I thought maybe it was a typo. Because I haven't heard of anybody doing this professionally, right? I've heard of somebody doing a one-off. So explain to the audience what Stein Brewing is, first of all.
So we use volcanic rocks to heat everything. So you like heat them under a flame. It was from before there was metal vessels everywhere. Then metal was really expensive. You couldn't just like put a flame under a wooden thing because it wouldn't work. So they'd heat up rocks and then throw them into their wooden vessels.
Okay.
We did this.
Yeah.
BYOB?
Yeah.
Yeah, my back porch.
We did it, at Doc's house for our TV show,
well,
and it was a pain in the ass, and it was a giant mess.
Yeah,
and so this is what I was trying to. Now, when you say
it was TV history,
you're not saying we did this like it was a one-off beer. You're saying we do this.
That's all we did for like 2 years. Yeah.
Why?
So,
what's wrong with you?
I'm a sicko. Yeah, I don't know.
Is there some head trauma history or something? Like,
I'm always about one of the things there. If it's one, I kind of feel like it's cheating if it's easy, and that's probably stupid. But like it's like, well, that was easy. I didn't feel like I did anything,
Yeah.
So, and then two, I loved the idea of, and I still do, of like using. And I think the whole local thing gets overused a lot too. It's kind of like, oh, local. Like, that's rad. And I 100%, like, if we can get something locally sourced, I don't care how much it costs. We'll add that into the beer, whatever. But when it's like used, when it's overdone to say it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to get off my soapbox
That's
now.
all right.
That always drives me nuts. When you go to a restaurant and they're like, well, yeah, this is all locally sourced. And like, yeah, but it tastes like shit. Like, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter.
There is a line, right?
Yeah. So yeah, but still to try to get that, and like, what can we do? And what, like, everybody can make a great IPA, and everybody can make a great, there's a million great, like, I'm never going to make a beer like Jamil can make, or like, whoever can make. I'm just not going to. I know that.
Okay.
But what can I make that is local to our place that nowhere else in the entire world you can make? Like the whole, Cantillon and stuff. Everybody tries to make that stuff. We're not trying to make that. We're trying to make what would happen if that happened in our area.
Sure.
And what would Morro Bay or San Luis Obispo taste like, and if we can source local fruits and local yeast. And so we actually stopped pitching about a year and a half ago, and we just have cool ships. And so everything, just whatever happened to that cool ship happened out there in Morro Bay, and then we'd barrel age it, and then we try to blend back, and then we'd add fruits and things.
But I'm still trying to
water.
So you're sitting there thinking, you're like, what would be local? What would only more? Oh, I know. Let's go get a bunch of rocks from outside and put them inside the beer.
It makes a good talking point for podcast interviews.
Yeah. I was like, I can't. One day I will be on the BN. Actually, the very first batches we did. I was just talking about this earlier. The iPhone app thing.
Yeah.
And I was the only person there. It was myself, and I was upstairs. And Paul, you've probably seen that old disgusting kitchen upstairs.
Yeah, pretty gross.
Yeah.
Upstairs at the
That's
pub?
my hype man there. Paul's my hype man.
Yep, it's gross, guys.
What he's saying is fucking true.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah, good job, boss.
Yeah. It's like real gross.
Yeah.
Like you don't.
And I would sit there and like make these like 10-gallon kind of test batch things, and I would like listen to you guys, and like
nice.
Total bad idea because now I make gross sour beers.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. But and so it kind of got. It wasn't like something. Like somebody came in yesterday, actually. It was funny. We were talking about, like, she's like, we just woke up and decided to make a sour brewery.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, I didn't fucking wake up and decide to make a sour brewery. Like, there's a progression to these things.
Sure.
But, yeah. It's,
okay, but you're still skipping over the Steinbier part.
Okay.
So just break it down for me.
It wasn't like a turning point, but, okay, the very first Steinbier we ever did, my Aunt Heather lives in Santa Barbara.
Of course.
Good old Aunt Heather.
This is so Aunt Heather.
Yeah. So
she would do this.
And then Grandma Brittany called her.
Yeah. So she got a remodel to her house. They had those old, like, lava stones on the front of her house. It's one of those old, like, 70s Santa Barbara houses.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm like, hey, Aunt Heather, what are you doing? Oh, tearing out all the old lava rock stones. And I'm like, I've always wanted to make a lava rock beer. That sounds kind of cool. Like, so we drove down and picked up a bunch of these lava rocks out the front of her house.
Okay.
And then cooked them on the stove at the pub and made a beer with them.
Locally sourced lava rocks.
So you heat just so people can get the process. So you heat them on the stove.
Yep.
And then you basically throw them in the wort.
Right.
Yep.
That's it.
To boil the
Easy
wort.
money. Yeah. It's so easy. Everybody should do it.
Did you not have a burner at the time?
No. So we had old dairy tanks that we were going to get. Actually, I had a welder coming to set up a whole direct fire thing. We had the space, everything, the whole thing.
I'm starting to
gas run to it, the whole deal. And he was a couple weeks late on it. And we did it. I was like, well, we'll make a Steinbier in the meantime. That'll be fun. I've never.
Now I get it. And now this I like. You're like, well, fuck it. We don't have to wait.
Yeah.
We're going to make
and
a
it was
Steinbier.
like, well, this turned out pretty cool, and this is like something neat. And then I was literally like tasting the wort, and I was standing, and I guess there was a eureka moment. I don't know why I never heard it. I was actually standing on the patio on the water in the bay, and I look over, and there's this giant fucking Morro rock. Which, if anybody's been to Morro Bay, there's this humongous rock that's out there. And I was like, God damn it, that's a fucking volcano. Like, why aren't we using that shit?
Is that the rock that the first meth heads landed on when they found Morro Bay?
Yes, exactly. They're like, we need to smoke meth and fish here.
Their voyage from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
We can use this rock to cook our meth.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Morro Bay is a beautiful city with lovely people, and I love everybody that comes in there.
Yeah. Would that be Stein meth?
Yeah.
So you grab rocks.
The best Stein meth.
Yeah, that's a metal band, actually.
Yeah.
So you got rocks from there next to do your next.
Yeah, I almost got arrested actually for that. I didn't realize that's we probably shouldn't talk about this. Yeah, it's illegal to take rocks from that because I guess it's like a monument or something.
Well, you're only borrowing them.
Yeah,
technically, you're only borrowing.
Well, that was kind of my point to the guy. So this guy, I'm like, I have my Yukon over there. I'm throwing these rocks in. I mean, I'm there almost every day. Well, I used to be before we decided to open another production facility, but I would surf out there all the time, like rocks, like so what? Like I got rocks on my shoes, no big deal. I'm throwing rocks. This guy, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, good to see you too, bro. You like the pub? Oh, you must recognize me. Yeah, good to see you too.
Did the badge and the gun not tip you off?
What are you doing, man? Like, and I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? He's like, you can't take rocks off Morro Rock. I'm like, oh no, it's cool. I'm just going right over there to the pub. He's like, this is a monument or whatever it is. I don't know.
Farther away would be worse.
Yeah.
Was it a park ranger?
Like no, but the guy got freaked out and like,
was a Native American.
And he like tried to
just a bro,
there's some Indian bones I was using. So.
It was Chief Morrow Rock, and he was like,
"This rocks cover my ancestors."
All Libertine pub brews are made with Indian bones,
Native American bones.
It would have been better if you got citizen arrested while taking these rocks.
So, all right, a couple questions I have advancing further into the process here, because when we did this, we read what kind of rock we were supposed to get and everything.
Bullshit.
Our rocks exploded.
Oh yeah,
all over us.
Oh yeah, it's happening. Yeah,
it was gnarly, right?
You had face shields.
But my guess is the lava rock from Aunt Heather's house did not explode. It's lava rock. A little explosive.
Yeah, I heard you weren't supposed to. I specifically read not to use lava rock.
Where did Aunt Heather get her rocks?
From her dealer. I don't know. I'm not allowed to talk about that on air. But yeah.
So she was getting out of the meth business.
How about the rock from Morro Bay Rock?
It all explodes. It doesn't matter what you do. When you're getting something to like 700-800 degrees, it's going to blow up eventually. So they would crack and spray. So one time, actually, that wasn't the dangerous part. The dangerous part was figuring out how to get them from our stove in the kitchen that we were cooking like fish and chips on over to our brewery, like 200 feet away.
Right.
And so we had this like basket thing made that we're like, oh yeah, we'll just have this little basket, no big deal. And then let's put a metal pipe on it. And me and Sean and I will just like pick this thing up and we'll walk in there and just like dump it right in. Pfft, what could go wrong?
Dude, Tyler, you're a nut job.
Yeah. You have no idea.
It's all bad ideas. I love it.
We walk over there, and we did a couple of them, and they worked and everything. And like third or fourth one, I had this big giant window right in the front, kind of where everybody walks by, and the kettle was like right against that. And I'm against the window, and we start to pick it up. Well, I'm a little guy, as you can tell. Sean, my GM that was helping me brew, is a hunkopotamus. I mean, this guy, like, he's got like tribal tattoos. You know he's strong. Like,
he's a bro.
He's like, he's like ready to go. Combs his hair every day. Like, So he like was like, bro, Hercules, and just like, well, we obviously didn't. You know, why would you put safety features on a metal pipe?
Right.
We're both the same strength.
No.
Slid down, and 700-degree rocks just fell against my arm against a plate glass window.
Right.
So I'm in there going, ah, like yelling, but then like if I fall backwards, it's going to drop onto my cock and balls, and then the family jewels are going to be dead.
Yeah.
And then if I like freak out and pull back, I'm going to go through a plate glass window.
Wow.
And so I just and then like dropped it in there, and then just started like crying like a little girl. I was all burned up.
Was this the first brew, basically?
No scars, luckily, but I definitely had burns all over. All the arm hair was gone. There I had like the imprints from the basket
wire
on my arm.
And you kept doing this process
for 2 years.
Yeah. I'm a glutton for punishment.
How was the beer? Like,
it's terrible. Don't try it.
Did it not come out good? Really?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to try it in a second here. So.
Oh, you have some here.
It tastes like arm hair?
Because we tried some of ours from the show that we made. Like a few different brewers did it, and most of it was pretty bad. I think one of them was really decent. I think Brian Schar's or somebody. I'm trying to remember who, so forgive me, guys who were on the show, but one of them was actually pretty good. It had this weird mineral-y flavor to it that was kind of nice. It was a unique beer.
Well,
it was very unique.
I don't know. I've never done it small batch. Like I never went like, I'm going to homebrew this and check it out. I just kind of like did it in a giant 10-barrel batch. So I don't know like what it normally tastes like. We never got like a full rolling boil. We get like kind of a simmering boil out of it.
Okay, yeah.
And then we would transfer that. We'd leave it in there overnight in the kettle actually for a while. And then we ended up getting a tank that we could transfer a coolship into. But pretty much the whole coolship thing, I don't know. I mean, we have coolships, but it's all just open top fermenters. And so as long as you have something open top, it's going to work on it. But I think the coolship's more to like cool it faster.
Faster, yeah. So was yours long and narrow and shallow?
So we only had a 60-gallon coolship in the front window that was really long and narrow and shallow.
Okay.
And then the rest would go into a big unjacketed open top fermenter, like a single, like just stainless steel, like an old wine tank that was open to everything. Both of them were. So then we'd blend those back together the next day and go right into oak, and then they'd primary in oak.
This is fucking good beer. So not just now I'm putting it all together finally. Not just sour beer, but the Stein beer is also the sour beer. Like you went Stein beer sour beer from the get-go.
Stein raw sour beer primaried in oak.
That's a
just to
dumb
really
idea.
fuck with your mind. Yeah.
But it came out good.
yeah. Surprisingly.
Well, and that's to his like local point earlier, right? Where this whole thing doesn't work if the beer isn't good. Like it's all gimmick unless the beer's good.
Right. Yeah. Now, so this beer here.
I don't know what we're drinking. What are we drinking?
This is the Gosa. It's not raw.
Oh, okay.
We
no,
did
this
bring
isn't
a raw
one.
beer, though.
Yeah, we did bring some. Yeah,
so
we
this
one,
when you say raw, this beer you pitched.
This was brewed in San Luis
No,
Obispo.
so raw means unboiled.
Ah, okay.
So raw beer, there's like a few. I think we found like Middle or Eastern European. What is it? Smart Paul's going to give you a history.
You guys are blowing my mind here.
I read
now
up
we're
a bunch
doing
on this.
No boil.
There's raw beer from all over the world, but you don't find it packaged in northern Lithuania. There's a couple articles written on like farmhouse beers.
Now he's losing me.
And it's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. I mean, it doesn't get hot enough to produce DMS, so it doesn't have to drive off the DMS.
Okay.
Aside from that, from what I've read, they're full of every off flavor you can imagine. But kind of like sour beer,
but no DMS.
In Belgium, you can get a billion off flavors from bacteria and wild yeast. But if you have good quality insurance and you're good at blending and monitoring all that stuff, you end up with a really decent product.
Okay,
so you can make raw beer, and
I think I accidentally stumbled into that, and that's kind of what happened was because we didn't get like an actual semi-boil, so there never was that DMS to blow off, and so then too, by being all Brett. Then we let it sit for so long, then any weird, crazy things actually were eaten up and finished off in it. So maybe that's like the trick to it. I don't know.
All right, I need time to recover for a second because this is a lot of things at once. So
mind blown.
I think what we're going to do is take a quick break. And because now I've just barely gotten my head around the Stein beer. And now we're going to talk raw beer a little bit and sour beer. We've got some more beer in our glass. So if you've got questions about all this stuff, hit the chat button. It's under community on the new homepage. It says live chat. Or call us, 888-401-BEER. That's an easy way to do it. We'll be right back. It's The Session. We're here with Tyler and Paul from the Libertine Pub. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
For nearly 40 years, one organization has had your back. The American Homebrewers Association. Are you a member? Why not? Join the more than 40,000 brewers who enjoy all the American Homebrewers Association has to offer. Like Zymergy Magazine, in print and online, plus the Zymergy app. Zymergy is the leading publication for amateur brewers around the world. Supporters also get member deals at their local breweries, bars, and homebrew shops. These alone quickly pay for your membership. You'll also get great member-only resources at homebrewersassociation.org and access to AHA events like the National Homebrewers Conference and the National Homebrew Competition. The American Homebrewers Association promotes the hobby of homebrewing, protects the interests of homebrewers, and brings beer lovers together. Become a member today. It costs less than a batch of beer and gives back so much more. Visit homebrewersassociation.org. Three-time Ninkasi Award winner and Grandmaster Judge Gordon Strong invites you on a guided journey of what's new in the world of homebrewing. Modern homebrew recipes, exploring styles, and contemporary techniques available now from Brewers Publications. Gordon brings you specific advice and sensory profiles for as-brewed, award-winning beers with delicious variations to get your creative juices flowing. This is more than just a book of recipes. It sets brewers on the a path to discovering what's new in the world of homebrewing. AHA Director Gary Glass says if you want to enter competitions or just learn more about styles that you might not have experience with, this book is going to help you tremendously. By emulating what Gordon does, you're going to make better beer. Modern Homebrew Recipes, Exploring Styles and Contemporary Techniques by Gordon Strong. Available right now from brewerspublications.com and find brewing retailers near you.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Yes, welcome back to the program. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And you're hanging out with the dudes from the Libertine Pub down in Morro Bay, California. We're drinking some of their beer right now. Before we go on, if you want to brew your own beer and you're looking for some more recipes, check out Modern Homebrew Recipes. It's written by our friend Gordon Strong over there. The Brewers Publications put it out, and it's a fantastic book that will give you everything you need to do to explore styles and contemporary techniques for brewing modern homebrew. Brewing Classic Styles, of course, from Jamil Zanishev, was a wonderful book by the Brewers Publications, and now they're giving you modern homebrew recipes from Gordon Strong. And Gordon, he's a badass. He's like the most recognized BJCP judge there is. He's got every credential you can get. He's won Ninkasi, 100 times in a row, I think it was, Tasty?
Yeah, 3 or 2.
2 times, 3, something like that. Gordon Strong, the writer of the Modern Homebrew Recipes. Go check it out right now at brewerspublications.com. All right, so we're hanging out with the guys from Libertine Pub, and got another one of their beers in my glass. Before the break, you might remember that we were talking about Stein beer and then open coolship fermentation.
And raw beer.
And then we had mentioned raw beer, which I guess I'm understanding now is beer that you're basically not boiling. Did I have this right, Paul?
Yeah, so Stein beer, raw beer, same thing.
It is because Stein doesn't get the actual full boil going.
Yeah, I guess if you had really, really, really hot rocks, you could make Stein beer that's boiled. But
I think when you do it in a homebrew setting, it's small enough that it gets a pretty good
surface
boil.
area, yeah.
So let me just get a grasp of the definition then. So raw beer still has to be heated to some degree.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't just have cold wort and then move along.
Yeah, that would be weird. I don't think you would extract sugars or anything.
Yeah, you got to be able to get the sugars off the
it's not like coffee
so we're
where
still
you can cold press it.
That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
Who does that? That's stupid.
So it's the difference really is just not a boil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So we're still mashing the same way. We might mash at 148, 152, something like this. What's the beer that we have in our glass? Let's use this as an example.
This is a Gudenfuder.
Okay.
That's how you say it. You have to say it like that or you don't get it poured.
You don't even get any.
It's so this was the first beer that we poured into our new 30-barrel fooder at our new facility in Slow. It was brewed 100% the Stein Brewing raw lava rock deal. In Morro Bay, we only did 3 beers. We did a golden ale, red ale, and a porter, which were all spontaneous. It sounds stupid, like a red ale, but it was spontaneously thing. But pretty much just 3 bases. So this was what would be our golden raw beer.
And this was still done with lava rocks?
Yep.
You're still doing the lava rocks.
Pitching. Yeah.
Just trying to wrap my head around it. Okay.
I mean, we have an actual brewing system now
that uses lava rocks.
No, that has steam and all that fancy stuff.
Okay,
it's an old pub system.
Yeah,
one of those old copper pub systems.
So you steam the rocks now?
Yeah, we're steaming all. They have great faces. They have good complexions.
Right. What is your method of taking it back and forth that you nearly burned your arm off on. Did you just do the same thing after that burn incident?
No, then we just got a hand truck, and we brought it over on the hand truck, and then we made it way more safe by buying safety glasses. Those little plastic safety glasses.
Oh, sure.
And then using kitchen
Welding
tongs that you would use to like flip over a tri-tip and individually pull out 700-degree rocks and throw them into water instead. But we made sure everybody stood back when we did it, so that way it's
and they're all wearing safety glasses too.
Well, they're standing back. They don't.
I see.
They're in the safety zone.
Yeah, they're in.
But this beer that I'm drinking was not brewed with hot rocks.
Yes, no, this was.
I'm so
the
lost.
beer you had before this was a Gosa made on the new system 3 weeks ago.
That one was not brewed with hot
That
rocks.
was like traditional boring shit. It was boiled. It was
like lame.
Yeah.
There were no injuries.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt. Like,
yeah. So the way that one was made is it was kettle soured, boiled, sat in a cool ship, was inoculated with on purpose, like just boring scientist control. In open top, sat in a cool ship, and then fermented after that in an open top fermenter with a Brett B and a house strain that we isolated, Libertine Brett, we call it.
Okay.
And so that one's like traditional.
And then
boring
seawater
crap.
from Shell Beach that we took with
seawater from
buckets
Shell
back.
Beach.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that? Did somebody yell at you for that?
Well, on Facebook, we got whoever the guy is from Uinta Brewing that yelled at me, like, go suck a chubby. Okay?
He's like, you can't take
Calling
seawater.
you out. No, yeah,
that's where we put our garbage.
Page. Like you can't drink seawater. It's like
I peed in that water.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
It was boiled thoroughly. It's fine.
We boiled it. Everything's fine.
I like the steam fired kettle is the old boring traditional shit.
Yeah.
But the hot rocks is the new hotness.
The new hot coolness.
Yeah.
I feel like
Which is a
everything you
reversal
brew
of
at the pub with the hot rocks, you should name it after the sign that says how many days you've gone without injuries.
Yeah.
You know, like in a factory. That's 12 days
that
since
would
our
be,
last.
If Sean works, which is like every day, it'd be 0. We'd just be always
Every
at
beer
0.
is called 0.
Yeah.
So in the new brewery, are you going to have like a brand new state of the art rock delivery system?
Yeah. Uber delivers all our rock stuff.
From the kettle to the wow.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I mean, just get a backhoe or something.
Yeah.
Oh, don't call women that. They are people too.
My wife is listening. Just
I'm sorry, my fault.
That's so rude.
My fault.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's back up just for a second. So you opened the Libertine Pub just a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, but you already now have moved to this new, bigger facility.
Yeah. So about maybe 5 months ago, so my business partner Bert in the first place was partners on a building in downtown San Luis Obispo, 9,000 square feet. This arch ceiling. It was built in the 50s. It was an old Via Automotive, giant redwood beams.
Nice.
And had this shitty furniture store sitting in it that was like an eyesore. It was not like even like a cool furniture store. It was like what college kids would go get like used mattresses and stuff from for like their dorm. Like, it was just like, what is this crap in downtown SLO? Wait, you own that building? Holy shit. Like, yes, let's do it there.
Okay.
So it took that was like my end game. Like, okay, what do I need to do to get to that place?
Okay.
And so we've been doing it, and we finally actually just partnered with some new partners, the Newtons, Eric and Rodessa Newton, and they ended up actually kind of in the middle of it right now, but taken over a lot of that stuff, and now I'm working with them. And
so is that a big production brewery now, or is there a tasting room and things like that?
We do have a tasting room down there. It's like besides this room, it's maybe like a couple hundred square feet.
Tiny, okay. And how big's the whole building?
9,000 square feet.
Wow.
So we've got a full like dedicated coolship room. We've got the 15 barrel. It's a Telegraph's old brewing system. So
Okay.
a little pub system, 2-vessel, copper clad.
Did I miss something about Telegraph? You have their brewer and their brew system. Did they go
according
under?
to the Celebrator, Don at Celebrator, I bought the brewery and the brewer, evidently.
Are they still around?
Telegraph? No, Telegraph's
Don.
killing it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just
No, they're great. No, Paul and I have been friends for a long time, and like I said, he's way smarter than me and knows all that good stuff. And I wanted to make beers like Paul, so I was like, "Shit, how do I make beers like Paul?"
And he's like, "Start by ditching the rocks."
Yeah. No, we had sore subject. Okay.
Telegraph expanded a couple years ago, and Tyler bought the brew system, and I was like, good luck with that old thing, fuckers. And now, like 2 years later, I'm like, oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna make
I
cold
remember
brew
this old
coffee,
guy.
fuck.
That's fine.
You jinxed yourself, man.
How big is the slow system, the copper clad?
15 barrels.
15, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old pub system, it's like 20 years old.
And it's a combo tank? Are they over-under?
Yeah, there's a hot liquor tank
It's a pub
underneath the
system,
mash.
basically?
Yeah, underneath the mash tun. That's kind of undersized.
Yeah.
Where did you
Gotta
get the
max
cool
that
ships
thing
from?
out all the time?
Had them made.
You had them made for you. Okay.
Yeah, there's a welder right down the street from us, Ian, that did a killer job, and we made 2 of them so that we could brew twice a day if need be. So we're never. I never want to make a beer that doesn't go into that. I want that being part of the process, no matter whether it's lava rocks or whatever. I think that's part of the fun of it is letting something fly in there from the area, whether it's some new bread strain or just whatever the air is in the room. I think that's kind of cool part of the process. So we made sure.
Are they positioned so that you open windows and air and
we have a big
bacteria
slide
jumps
up
in?
door, and then we're in and out of the door on the side all the time, and then we have windows up so that eventually there's going to be a full restaurant. We're going to have a little coffee shop that has the all the cold brew coffees that we're doing, kind of focused on that, little cheese charcuterie, and then a small homebrew shop as well.
Oh, man.
In that little area.
I love it.
At that point, since we do all barrel aging, the whole thing right now is full of barrels, so we'll take all those out and we'll have like an off-site packaging and aging facility. Kind of.
Okay.
If anybody's been to Firestone Barrel Works, kind of a
Something
similar
similar.
idea. We're not trying to hide the Brett strains like they are like down there. We're just we just don't have anywhere to put the barrels, so
I
we'll
see.
still brew on site. Little loading dock and
I got to go back to charcuterie for a second because near and dear to my heart. You're going to make
you
that
like
on
shoving meats down the
absolutely. You have no idea. Are you going to make it on
Pipe
site,
and meat?
or are you just selling charcuterie?
Just selling for now.
Okay.
I like the idea of being able to make cheese and make charcuterie and doing that, and same with the coffee. Like we try to do as much as we can ourselves. I think that's kind of the fun of it. And that's where we're craft brewing. We're trying.
How many hot rocks does it take to make charcuterie?
A lot. What insane method are you going to use to grate charcuterie?
I don't know yet. It's going to be weird for sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. Like heat up deer bones or some shit?
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Already.
Thank you.
Boar bones would be better. I've had boar charcuterie, and it's
Yeah?
good.
Really?
Yeah, so I'd use those.
Sounds boring.
It's a little tip you can have, Tyler.
There you go. Boar.
Wild boar.
There you go.
That's
we have a
good
lot
stuff.
of boars in our area, too.
Okay, well, there you go. All right.
The boring people, they suck.
So this beer in our glass is even
Well.
better than the last beer.
Well, this was a raw.
I like the other beer first.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
I like this one even better. What style of beer would you call this?
It'd be a raw ale, Justin.
Just a raw ale.
Is that something you've coined?
Lacto goes
No,
crazy.
raws?
No, in all the research I've done, it's referred to as raw beer. So
Okay.
when I first met Tyler and he's like, we make Stein beer, I was like, whoa, that's raw beer. That's serious.
Yeah,
like,
raw,
historical
bro.
shit. Like no one's doing that in this country. That's kind of like very significant.
But it's a thing
That's cool.
in like Europe or what? I mean, there's people who
Probably
do it.
all over the place. I'm
Really?
sure. Just
Where
not
people don't have heat.
packaged and sold. But
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I would assume like raw beer, like the raw ingredient before it's packaged or something. That's what I would think, but I didn't know that it was actually like a.
The first mention I found of it was what's that magazine? Beer Connoisseur.
Playboy?
Yeah.
Beer Connoisseur did an article about Lithuanian farmhouse ales.
Okay.
And some of them were like no boil, raw, just heated up.
It's kind of this cross between like a lambic and a goza.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a Berliner.
Totally.
And a Berliner.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
kind of There's a little of that in there.
I mean, if you don't like thoroughly pasteurize it, lacto goes crazy.
Really?
And it's
So
also has
do we
tons
have any
of
of our bottles, Lane?
tons of protein in it, so it's like very hazy, super
grab a
lacto
couple or
forward.
It is super hazy. So the folks listening, it kind of looks, it's the color of like a Hoegaarden, that sort of yellow color,
Yeah.
but it's much hazier even than that. It's not thick, though, by any means. Like, it's not like you drink it and you go, oh, I wish you would have filtered this. There's nothing like that going on. It's far better than it goes. I like the complexity that it's this cross between those styles instead of just being a goza, which to me are, I don't know, they're just a little one-dimensional. They're not my favorite types of spontaneous beer or whatever they are. This is much better.
It's not my favorite type
Actually, to me,
whatever classification it
Type
is.
of a goza.
To me, it's clear for a no-boiled beer.
The
all the
hardest
proteins.
part, the hardest part with these is the clarity and then the head retention. There is like zero head
You
retention.
got all that fat that's supposed to precipitate during the boil. It's not happening. It's in the
Yeah,
beer.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You could overcarb the crap out of this thing.
It still wouldn't.
10 seconds later, it looks like it's flat.
If anyone has any tips, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
That's like
That's our biggest complaint when people buy bottles.
Really
is like,
fix.
oh, beer is amazing, but flat. And it's like, well, yeah, but it wasn't.
I would suggest boiling it.
Oh, shit. Thanks, man. I don't know why we didn't think. Did you ever think of that?
Well, you guys are too busy on the fucking beach getting sunburnt,
Yeah.
stealing water and rocks.
Stealing water.
Jesus.
So, Tasty, what you're kind of saying is that what happens in the boil, and I see all those chunks are like the breakdown of these fats and
these
proteins.
complex things are broken down through heat and physical agitation.
And then drop out, right?
Yeah, that's what you see in the tube in the bottom. You do the whirlpool. There's a big pile of stuff in the middle.
Okay.
These guys don't need to do a whirlpool. There's nothing there.
Got it. Okay.
All that
it's
goes
all
into
still in the beer.
Well, it goes into the fermenter. And there it probably produces a lot of these off flavors that they're talking about. But the bugs
take care of
probably
it.
eat that. Yeah.
Paul, what about hops? Are there hops in these beer?
Overrated.
Are they fresh? Are they old, like the kind of lambic style?
So both.
Okay.
We grew a lot of hops actually on site in Morro Bay. Surprisingly, as much as everyone told me I was an idiot for growing them there, we have like really good harvest the last 2 years.
Okay,
just
nice.
right out in front of the pub, right on the water. And most of those we'd either like we have a beer called Morro Rock Saison. We might have brought a bottle of it. I think.
I'll go look. You want me to open that?
Right.
Yeah, maybe we should do that one.
Scott's going to go look and see if we have it.
Does your 4-year-old also grow all of the hops that you guys
She
use in that beer?
actually did help water. I have a picture. We can drink those too.
Yeah, I'm going to open it.
Oh, okay.
Taking them home.
You were struggling, so
Yeah.
Scott.
I don't know what I'm doing.
He'll pull him out the next poker night he has.
Yeah.
He's actually leaving.
Yeah. So
pouring out
she's actually our best little waterer. She goes up.
I don't know what happened. Go on.
Did you
I didn't
flash
do.
us?
No, I didn't. You wish.
They're inside joking, which I love
gotcha.
when it happens on the radio.
No, I want to see the picture of your daughter.
Oh.
I love 4-year-olds.
That's really creepy.
What do you love
actually.
better,
I have a
inside jokes or
4-year-old.
Bev putting the brakes on an interview?
It's even creepier.
She's the only one
I like
who could
the
say I love
homage to
4-year-olds on the air. It'd be
805
fun.
on the wall here.
That's your zone, right?
area,
You guys
yeah.
are in the 805.
Yeah.
A piece of home now.
And Brentelson. Holy crap! What is this? The homage to Firestone. This is
We're fans. We're
fans
fanboys
too.
Yeah.
Jeez, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely fanboys.
Yeah, we're believers.
No, that's awesome.
We'll see how things
Yeah,
go
never heard of 'em.
in the next year or two, but right now we're fanboys.
Yeah.
So
The
So are we.
yeah, totally. Jim and Jeffers are like our favorite
cool.
customers at the place,
there you go.
and they also tell us everything we need to know. So that's always good.
So hops.
Yes.
Go
Okay.
back to hops.
Hops. What are hops? I don't know what those are.
So there are hops in this beer that I'm
Yes.
drinking. Okay.
Yes, we grew a lot of them. That beer I told him to go grab, or he's going to go grab or whatever, has all hops grown on site.
Okay.
So if we picked them that day, we would use them in the beer. If they weren't being used that day or the next day, then we would actually dry them like the traditional lambic, where for a year or whatever.
So you would use old hops,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And actually, we ended up over time figuring out that because of the no boil, whatever lactic strains were being built and getting more and more and more as we didn't, boil, they were getting so intense. Like the next day, we would have like pure lactic acid. It was like insane. So we would have to actually. We were hopping. We weren't doing 100 IBU beers, but we were 20, 30 IBU sometimes when we calculated it out. But just we would do mash hopping. We'd do all these things to not let lactic growth start, which is almost unheard of in a sour beer because you're always trying to So,
did you inoculate this beer at all, or was this all spontaneous?
No. So for the last year and a half to 2 years out in Morro Bay, we completely stopped pitching.
On everything.
Nothing. Yeah, we didn't do anything. So we started with a few Brett strains, just your basic White Labs Brett strains, and threw some in, started, and then we realized like we would come in, we'd put it out in the cool ship, and then we'd come in the next day to like, pitch a little Brett in here to get. We'd be like, we already got Croydon, this thing's going.
Wow.
So we just stopped, and then we actually, a guy down at Stone. Oh God, what's his name?
Mitch Steele.
Yeah, totally. Old Uncle Mitch.
Greg.
No, he's the lab guy. Damn it. Rick. I think his name's Rick.
Okay.
Anyways, he came up one day randomly and was like, I like the beers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, you're a lab guy? You're like smart, knows I use microscopes? Like, here, and like gave him some samples just out of barrels. So he ended up plating it out, and we have like 4 different Bretts.
Nice.
2 of them he said he like kind of recognized, and then the other 2 was like I don't know what the hell that is.
Wow.
Rick Blankenmeyer?
I think that might be it.
Lap Tech for Stone.
Yes, there you go. It was Rick. All right, I got it.
Okay.
So so we have like 4 Brett strains. 2 of them evidently are proprietary to us. I guess you would think if he works for Stone, he seemed like a smart guy that he'd have known. But
so it goes coolship, windows open, whatever. Let stuff jump in there for what? 24 hours.
Next day, so whenever the brew day would be done until we'd come in the morning.
And then where does it go?
Barrels.
We're straight into barrels. Okay.
Yeah, at the pub.
Yeah.
Now with the brew system, we have a coolship room, so we can actually go into the coolship, and then we can either go into open top for a few days. I mean, as everybody knows, primarying an oak is super messy and gnarly, so maybe 10% of our beers now are actually primaried in oak, and the rest are still into oak, but it's...
This is just because of the gushing out the top, we're saying? Okay.
We try to let it. But I think there is a difference, and I do like what you get out of primary and oak, even though it is a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still in the first stages of the new place. I mean, we've only been brewing there 3 weeks?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Okay.
So we're still just trying to like figure out the system and do everything. So we've done a couple Stein beers. We're doing some more next week, and we're going to, it's going to be part of the portfolio, but we're trying to kind of figure out what goes where. And
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now the whole process, when they go into barrels, there's probably still bugs living in each of those barrels. And then you will, at the end, blend things together? Or do you just kind of let the barrels speak for themselves?
No, we do almost everything's blended.
Okay.
In fact, especially before we had Smart Paul here, we consider ourselves more like blenders than brewers, because we were just kind of like throwing grain in with rocks and then just like throwing into barrels. But then like, okay, well, I can at least do something now that's like cool and like try to like blend things. So that was kind of our thing, was we were trying to blend neat flavors that we had, because every barrel's different. I'm sure if you guys have ever done blending, it's pretty cool. And we have your favorite barrels, do that stuff. So it was we were more focused on the blending process than we were the production of wort.
So that's really embracing kind of the Belgian spontaneous beer way of doing things.
I guess so. I mean, I see. I mean, you read about the stuff and you're like, oh, yeah, and that sounds great. But when you actually do it, you're like, oh, that totally makes sense why you blend stuff. Like, and that's the biggest thing when, I guess, homebrewers, it's a show for homebrewer. Everybody always asks, like, that's the number one question people ask me all the time. Oh, I want to make a sour beer. How do I, what do I do? Brew as much as you can and spread it out as much as you can, because there are a lot of the clubs now and stuff, and they get together and then they brew and they all put their thing into one like 60-gallon wine barrel. Personally, and like I said, I'm not the end all be all. I don't really know anything, but my advice, that's the worst thing you could do, because you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And with these beers and these Bretts and lactose strains and all these things and barrels and wood and everything, it is a flip of the coin what you're going to have in that. So the best thing would be have everybody do it, put them all in little carboys and have everybody come together and then make a blend out of that, or something. I don't know.
Smart advice.
Like
make the collaboration the blend, not blend it
don't
before.
Don't put all of your guys' stuff into the one barrel, because I've seen that. I mean, we've gotten some of the most expensive barrels we have that were like, oh man, these are locally sourced, really expensive Cabernet barrels where you put your beer in it and it's like, well, these all taste like crap. This is stupid. You know? And I can't imagine, like, that's just one batch for us, which is, I mean, we're a small brewery, but still, like, okay, I lose a couple barrels, no big deal.
Sure.
If somebody's like a home brewer and they worked all year and made this thing and they did it and they wait a year and that's their one barrel and they're looking at it and they're like, oh, shit, that sucks. That would be, like, devastating.
That's a good piece of advice, absolutely. Don't throw it all into a barrel and blend it later.
What about you guys? I mean, I don't get a lot of barrel character in this beer, but you're saying it's the fermentation in the barrel that adds the character that we're getting, right?
Yeah. So the one we're trying now was in the Fooder. It was a fresh Fooder
beer. Okay.
We steamed it. Or are we trying the new one we just poured?
This is the Saison.
Oh, okay. Saison was white wine French oak barrels. Only about 2 months, because we weren't trying to get too much sourness out of it. It was more of a...
Our wood character, then.
Yeah, and most of all our stuff is all like neutral oak that will get sourced.
So it's pretty well used anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All
and it's we used a little bit of seawater from the bay. We used all rocks from Morrow Rock, and then we used
You're working
all
at night.
yeah all hops that we grew on site at the pub. So that's why we called the more. And obviously the yeast was
state thing
from here.
This is a badass saison. This is a
thanks.
fantastic beer. It's got a lot of different things going on. It's got a little bit of tart going on. There's some spice, it's kind of an interesting, like a white peppercorn type of spice. It's just this really mild. It's not heat, but it's just got a little bite to it. There's also, again, some of those wit beer characteristics to it, almost like you had some lemon peel in there. And
there's the citrusy thing, and the carbonation helps too. It's actually at a fairly decent carbonation level for the style.
This one's carbonated, right? Not no head, like you said, right?
Yeah,
but it's carbonated.
It goes fast. So once again, raw beer, spontaneously fermented. We didn't pitch anything into this. It was all just kind of whatever happened.
If I were you, knowing now that I know this process, I would be incredibly proud of this beer. It seems impossible that it tastes this good because you're in some ways you're letting things go. Like in some ways you're not. I'm not saying you're not working hard at it, but you're leaving it sort of to the elements is what I'm saying. You're just
on the hot side and the cold side.
On the hot side and the cold side, you're sort of just throwing it. Hey, this is how it's going to go.
It's really good for that, isn't it?
Good job, Lawrence.
What is your loss?
This is Larry's beer, Lawrence Duarte. The greatest little brewer this side of the Mississippi. What was the question?
Oh, do you have much loss then? Or are all your barrels this good and you're just badass?
Maybe tops would be 10%. It's not that bad. And the only real loss, like we always try to figure out, so we don't have like a set, we try not to brew, well now we're kind of doing that more with the new place, but especially in the past it was more, we're brewing for volume than we do per batch. It was like, we need a bunch more golden ale, and we just like fill up a bunch of golden ale barrels, and then maybe we'd take one from 2 months ago, and then we'd use one from 2 years ago, and we blend something together. So normally it's like, I'm going to brew 20 barrels of IPA, and then it goes in the fermenter, and so it was a lot of that. So unless it went acetobacter and is real vinegary and gross, we could always find somewhere to fit in a barrel. You know what I mean, for the most part. So. We didn't have a ton of loss where it's like, this batch, this doesn't fit into the blend, let's dump it out. It was like, well, maybe 6 months from now it might turn into something rad and we'll fit into a different blend, So that was, we just had like about 100 or so barrels to pick from at any one time for a blend. And that's kind of what we had. So we didn't have, I want to say we had maybe 5 or 6 barrels I can think of off the top of my head that were like, okay, this is acetobacter, this is gross, let's dump this thing.
Okay.
But,
it's not too bad.
Yeah, it was for what we were trying to do. It was actually surprisingly like, wow, I thought like most of this crap will be bad, but
I can't believe your partners also just sort of let you do this thing because it's a scary process. There's a lot of money tied up.
I don't even think he like really knew what I was doing.
I don't think they have any idea how.
This is how beer is made.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be like, well, I guess you just use rocks. Like, I don't know.
It's easier than I thought.
Yeah.
I guess it does have to sit around for 6 months before I can sell it.
Yeah.
He didn't go on a brewery tour and then come back and be like, so I saw this thing where they have a burner.
Well, the other part of it was he didn't have to spend a lot of money either. So it was kind of like...
good point.
Well, I had to invest almost nothing, and this guy found some old dairy tanks and is using rocks from down the road, and people are actually driving from all over California to come here and try... Yeah, just keep doing what the fuck you're doing.
Whatever you're doing,
go
man.
for it, dude. Yeah, killing it, Tyler. Awesome job. That's how you make beer, I guess. I don't know.
Does he like the beer himself? He's obviously tasted it. Only when he has to?
I don't know. Does anybody really tell you how they feel about things?
Well, not everybody likes sour beer.
That's a good point.
I mean, he's never been like, that's gross.
Okay,
but,
so he's not one of those.
Let's just say the new brewery where we actually boil things, we're getting a lot better feedback from our business partners.
Okay.
So.
If he ever does say that's gross, I hope he does it really happily like you just did.
Gross! Hey, that's
Tyler,
gross.
that's
Nice.
disgusting.
Yeah.
The tagline on
Keep
some
up
new
the-
sitcom on Fox. That's gross!
Waka waka.
I'm loving all these beers, man.
Thanks.
They're really nice.
Yeah, we're trying.
Are you really, though?
I really am.
Are you really going to even fucking tell me?
So,
Look at him. Do you think he would tell you anything, honestly?
No.
something that we learned from one of our other favorite sour breweries, the Rare Barrel here in the Bay Area.
Never heard of them.
Is that
they're actually pretty terrible.
That Brett does a lot to clean up some of the off flavors that happen in your beers. And so you've mentioned that you have at least 4 different strains of Brett just naturally occurring now. You think this is responsible for cleaning up some of this?
Yeah. I definitely think it was. I kind of mentioned that earlier too. I think it was. We kind of like. Whether it was on purpose or, I mean, I don't really do anything on purpose, kind of all I think.
Just going for it, yeah.
I think it was almost by accident, like the whole like DMS things. Like we never actually boiled enough to get that, so that was never really an issue. And then, the fact that they're raw and they have all these weird things. Well, if you make a beer and 2 months later it tastes gross or it has, whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool. Just let it sit there for another 6 months. And then, oh, cool. It tastes cool now. You know what I mean? It's that's kind of how we've been with it. It's where it's like, it's not good. Well, we'll do something else. And that was what was nice. So one of the things back to that 75 license that we had was that we have like a 48 tap beer bar. So in our area, that's the most taps anywhere around, and it's cool. And we get to play with things, and everything's rotating. Yeah. And by doing that, it allowed us to like not have to like I never want to release a beer I'm not super pumped on and like proud of, So sometimes we don't have any of our beers on. And actually for almost the first year we were open, we didn't have anything on because we're doing these weird spontaneous barrel aged things. And people come in, like if you go look at like Beer Advocate or whatever, there's a couple people that came in like, I went down there, they didn't have one beer that they made themselves on. Total bullshit brewery. Fuck those guys. They're totally fuzz. It's like, no, just wait. Like, these guys are totally trying to be fakers. And it's like, actually, we're being like super legit here and not really
and not giving you crap.
Yeah. So, so that's been nice about it.
Okay.
Is the fact that we have 48 rad beers from around the world. I love drinking beer. I want to have the best beer on we can. Yeah. And when stuff is ready and we can blend something together that we're stoked on, we'll put it on tap.
Excellent.
So when is the first beer going to come out of the new brewery?
We have that was the growlers you had.
We're drinking
all the
that
growlers were from the new brewery.
Well, but are they available to the public already?
Yeah,
Okay.
You can walk in the tasting room right now. 1234 Broad Street is the address, downtown San Luis Obispo, California.
It's pretty easy to remember.
We nailed
1, 2,
it.
3, 4 Broads.
And our phone number is 548 beer.
Nice.
Killed it.
Okay.
So that was awesome. 805. I guess people aren't from 805.
Feminists are going to love you.
805.
Everything's easy except for how you make the fucking beer.
Yeah. Good old. I was like, God, what can we do that would be cool? Like 805, they already got that, but like we could still have our phone number.
I had a question come through. A question come through from the chat for you, but it's about the coffee. No. It's about the cold pressed coffee. Is that cool?
It's not one of my like dirtbag friends trying to like ask.
Probably is.
No, it's from Disco Fetus.
Oh yeah, old Disco, old Uncle Disco. Yeah,
he's a pro-lifer.
How's Aunt Heather?
Yeah,
staying alive in there.
So he wants to know. I was wondering if you could. He wants me to ask how long you keep the coffee in barrels when you do it, and if they've ever had a problem with rancid results from oxidation, things like that. With the cold press.
Surprisingly, we don't ever like trial anything. We just like do shit.
Interesting.
It's not that surprising after this interview, to be honest.
Weird. Yeah. We actually did trial coffee for like a long time, and actually I didn't even do it. The coffee roasters, the local roaster we use, Slow Roasters, out of San Luis Obispo, nicest people ever. They were so stoked to work with us when I approached them on it. They did these like full-on trials with different blends and different beans and different roasting and different hours and all this stuff. So we settled on a 48-hour in the barrel cold. Seems to work pretty well with the roast that we got. Paul and I mean, Paul's the real coffee nerd. I just drink. I'll drink like shitty 7-Eleven coffee all day. I don't care. Like my cold press is like, hey, your coffee's cold from 7-Eleven. Like, yeah, cold brew, rad. Right. Paul's over here like sniffing and snorting and
okay.
Who smells what they drink?
Yeah,
what a nerd!
Elephant.
Yeah,
but So we're doing right now. We're doing a 48-hour steep in a bourbon barrel. We also, because that's not that long on oak and being barrel agers, we know you're not going to get a ton from that. So I went and took some staves and chopped them up really, really small to give more surface area and get some fresh oak flavor into that as well. So that was something we're doing to kind of like help out with that quick. Because if it was up to me, I'd throw in there 6 months and see what happened. But after 48 hours, it's no good. I tried everything.
It's just bad.
Known
after
to man and on that one. But if there's a way maybe of like purging it with CO2, I've been brainstorming a lot of different ideas. But as of right now,
maybe go to stainless or something.
But that'd be
boring. Why don't you steam jacket and boil beer too?
Yeah, tasty.
I forget
idiot.
you guys are like the dark ages guys.
But you got a bunch of hops to beer too.
We could just contract brew it.
I bet they got
someone
a
else make it for us. Put our label on it. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Maybe Indian Wells can make us our coffee for us.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys want to branch out and make a different color beer?
This one's a different color, right? It's got a little orange hue to it, right?
Ooh, stepping out.
Getting
Saison
wild.
has some color. We have a Saison.
What is the beer in our glass?
The Bière
now?
de Garde.
This is still that. Oh no, this
The
is the
Morocco
Morocco Saison still. Yeah. Oh no, is this
Summer Breeze?
We're hoarding.
Oh, I didn't get that one yet.
Oh, this one.
Did we get that one?
beer.
This one's even better.
You
than
guys
the
are
last
tart and awesome.
We're working slowly.
Yeah. I've had this shit before. It's gross. I'm just like.
They keep
All right, now
getting
you're good.
They keep getting better. This
JP
one
just chugged.
Yeah, this one's better than the last.
Oh, it's so good.
Tell
So
me about this
sour
beer.
and dry.
Libertine San.
I think he's asking for Tyler to tell you about it.
Laos. Libertine San Laos Wildal.
What happened to JP? JP just stroked out.
You have the wrong glasses
on
on,
the air.
JP?
I think he's talking backwards.
He's got the Coke bottle glasses on.
All right, Tyler, tell me about this beer.
flashbacks right now.
Yeah. What is it?
Speaking Laos. So Summer Breeze is our fruited kind of summery beer.
Mm-hmm.
Not that much. I don't like this one. It's gross.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. This is kind of one of our like what we're more known for ones that kind of sought after. We get a lot of calls on this one. But we change the fruit every time. Once again, this is a raw beer. No pitching, no boiling. And the fruit changes. So this one was raspberries and peach. The one before it, the very first one we did was apricots, and then the last one we did that we didn't bottle, it was only so this is the only version we've actually bottled of Summer Breeze. The last one we did was how was the last one we did?
I don't know.
God if I know. Had rocks in it.
Yeah, you just pulled me off the street. I don't actually.
Oh, mangoes! Shit.
Oh
mangoes.
yeah, that one was really good.
Yeah.
What is
the mangoes?
What does the malt bill look like on a beer like this?
So this is just our golden base. So
$4.
Yeah, I don't know. Shit, I just throw stuff in there. I use a lot of wheat, Pilsner wheat, and we put a little bit of rye and a little bit of oats and everything.
Okay,
that's kind of been one of our things that we've done forever. Actually, I heard that on this show, and I don't even know who said that.
Do you remember the reason they said it?
Yeah, because of body.
Okay,
and was that you that said it? Yeah, I literally in upstairs in the what was the kitchen, Paul? Shitty kitchen.
Oh, the gross kitchen.
Yeah, the gross kitchen.
Love that place.
In my little earbuds, listening, and I was like, "Wait, you put oats and everything, get more body? That's pretty cool. I should do that." And
nice.
So, like for the last 3.5 years, we've done that. Every single batch, we put at least half a bag of oats and everything, and then also we always put at least half a bag, if not a full bag, or sometimes more than that, of rye as well.
Okay.
So a little bit of rye, a little bit of oats, keep the body, give a little spiciness, because a lot of times you're doing like a year or sometimes 2 years aging, especially with ours. They get so dry that it's just. I'm not saying any names of anybody, but there's a few breweries that do what we're doing, and we've had them, and they're like, "There's nothing here; it just tastes like
it's a little
water."
too dry.
And so I'm great with the dry, but when it gets so dry that it tastes like water, it bums me out. So
I think it's a fair request that whatever percentage of oats you put in the malt bill is what percentage of the batch we should get every batch.
Yeah.
Just, as for the advice.
Yeah.
Just as,
okay. I'll put that in the calendar.
Put that in the calendar and see how that goes.
Put that on the dry erase board.
Just sit on it and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we'd love to have some beers on tap here all the time. That'd be fun.
We would love that too.
How old is this beer?
In the bottle, I want to say we bottled that. Put me on the spot here.
Not necessarily in the bottle, but just how long was it barrel aging and souring?
Well, that's the thing. So we don't really. It wasn't like we brewed Summer Breeze. It was, hey, let's make Summer Breeze. We got some peaches and raspberries, and so then we go to the basement. we go, oh, this barrel's tasting good, and this one's a little too oaky, but this one has no oak, so let's mix these. And we dicky-do around. So it could be 3 years and 3 months old in this. And
it's a great blend.
Then how much do you make of it at one time? Then if you're just pulling from barrels, what's the size of your barrel room?
The most we could bottle at a time was 5 barrels at a time. But we use those actually. Jim Crooks, speaking of Firestone earlier, it's rad. He's helped me out so much. So he showed me these totes, like these square totes, which if anybody's trying to fruit beer, highly recommend them.
Adorbs.
Once he told me that, I was like, I'm so stupid. Why did I ever use a barrel to fruit beer? That's the dumbest thing ever. There's these totes. It's $5 a day. You can rent them. They have manways on them. They have jackets on the back. It's called Hoover.
Are they for the wine industry or something?
Wine. A lot of people in wine use them. But you can buy them for like $5-6 grand. But if you're poor like us, you can rent them. And,
nice.
They have manways. Like I said, they have a jacket on the back. And you just fruit it. That's all of our fruiting. We have, I think, 10 now at the production brewery.
8.
8.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And we use them for everything. It's like any kind of fruit. So we'll make a blend or whatever, and then we'd blend it into that 550-gallon thing. Then we'd add whatever fruit we want. It sits in there. It's got a blow off. You can do whatever you want, and then you just pump out of it. You can put a racking arm on it. Instead of individually fruiting 20 barrels and then having it explode and make a mess and trying to get it. I mean, we did that for years, and I'm like, it's like.
That sounds way better.
It's way better.
Okay, yeah.
They can't handle pressure, but
okay.
they're still
it's like
really, really
10
nice
to 15 PSI is about as high as you can get on them.
That only matters for what? Transferring, though, right? Like, you don't want to keep... I mean, enough pressure to not get oxidized.
You can't condition anything, but it's fine.
Okay.
You can't primary in them.
Are you guys bottle conditioning then? Or?
Everything's bottle conditioned.
Okay.
Yeah. We have an old 6-head wine gravity filler that we use.
Got
Actually,
it.
same thing Barrelworks does. The same thing. I went to we did a bottling with Jim. Actually, the first, was it Feral One or whatever, their first thing, when they actually let people go help bottle. And then I think we got too drunk and ate too much pizza, and they're like, we're just going to hire people to do this.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper.
Wait, how did Tyler get invited to this shit? No, we're just hiring people now. Don't worry.
Yeah, thanks,
we don't
Tyler.
need your help.
You're like, no, but it's me. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, no, I know. Totally. Thanks. Let's get out of here. You're great.
Yeah.
But,
well, these beers are fantastic, man. Thanks for bringing them in and sharing. I know you brought a bunch. We might share some with our staff out there. And seriously, we need to get some of your stuff on tap, too. Do you guys distribute in bottles and kegs, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so right now, Central Coast Distributing in our little area from, I guess it'd be Ventura to Thousand Oaks kind of area on the coast there. And then Lime Ventures is kind of our state distributor that...
cool.
We've sent them little tiny things to we've never been able to make enough to really distribute a lot. So
and to get out of, you're not out of state yet, I assume.
Not at all.
Okay.
And we're barely even in. Whenever it goes out of our little area, it's like, hey, we did a beer with Eureka, and so it was like, okay, all Eureka locations get a couple cases. So sent them to Lime Ventures, and then they got them. It's not like, oh, here's 12 pallets of beer, Lime Ventures, sell it. It's kind of like, okay, send this to this guy.
Okay.
What are you anticipating for the first year of the new production facility in terms of production?
Well, we were at 250 barrels in the pub, and by a year or two from now, if we hit 2,000, I'd be stoked. We're not trying to be a 20,000 barrel brewery or anything. It's very we're trying to make it. I mean, if we could sell everything right out of the pub. That'd be fine, too. Fine with me.
I just want to point out that this Summer Dream is so good that a gnat landed in mine, and I'm still drinking it.
Nice.
Because I don't want to throw it out. It's just, I mean, it's really good. I think he's still alive, too. He's drunk, and he's swimming around.
Thumbs up. You should put him out of his misery.
And I don't even care. I'm still drinking this beer.
I do want to just throw out there, total plug here. September 12th, we have a wild registry. You get 12 bottles of beer. Can I say this? No?
Yeah, absolutely. What is it?
Never mind.
What is the wild registry?
Wild registry, you get 12 bottles of beer a year. Released throughout the year. You get a shirt. You get one of the Hydro Flask growlers with
I got one. They're nice.
Wild Registry etched into it for the year.
Yeah.
Glassware discount, all kinds of crap.
Where can people go to sign up?
At the pub on September 12th, our last release for this year, and then the 14th it'll be online. So that we're actually just trying to buy a bottling line.
Okay.
So if people can join that, that'll be rad because we'll be able to buy a bottling line. So.
Excellent.
How much is it?
If you've never been in it before, it's $275.
Nice.
And where can people go just to learn about the Libertine Pub? What's the website?
We've got a couple. So it's Facebook is Libertine Brewing Company or Libertine Pub. So we have two now with the pub and thing.
Okay.
We've got libertinepub.com, but we're actually next week going to launch a new website for the brewing company.
It's going to go
It'll
great.
be libertinebrewingcompany.com.
Okay.
Next week it's going to launch, so sometime in 2018.
Everyone's going to love it.
Yeah.
When you launch your new website, people are going to be really nice about it.
Yeah, they're going to be stoked. Yeah. But,
I can't find info about the rocks.
Where are the rocks?
I want to know.
Downtown San Luis Obispo.
Why isn't there a picture of Tyler being arrested for stealing rocks?
How old are the rocks? I don't know.
You guys suck.
Yeah.
That's the feedback.
You can't drink seawater. Fuck you. Ugh.
You.
Whoa, bro.
That's
Who are
not harvesting. That's a bucket.
Yeah, that's a bucket. That's not harvesting.
All right,
I'm Utah, you ass.
I'm going to take us to a break. You guys want to hang out?
Sure.
All right, because when we come back, we're going to do some feedback. We got some beer news to do. Might do some Drunk of the Week recordings, a bunch of stuff like that. The Libertine Pub, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got any more questions, feel free to type them in the chat or call 888-401-BEER. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch yeast. Pure Pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast packaged using their Flex Cell process ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, Flex Cell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Do you know the three most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Adventures in Homebrewing has the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipes. Some of the things homebrewing.org creates and manufactures in-house are the Brutus brew stands and propane burners, the serial killer adjustable 2-roller grain mill with 7-pound hopper, custom stainless steel false bottoms designed to fit kegels, coolers, and mini-sized brew pots. The brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing have designed a huge selection of original recipes for extract and all-grain brewing. Adventures in Homebrewing original recipes are tried and tested, proven to be of the best quality. And right now, Adventures in Homebrewing is shipping 24 of their best recipes for free. Visit homebrewing.org for the most current selection. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And now, it's even easier with free shipping on these kits. Brewing Network listeners receive 10% off their homebrewing.org orders when they use coupon code IPA at checkout. See terms and conditions for full details.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
Hey, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the Hop Grenade and on the session. We were just at the break talking about things overheard. There were some interesting things overheard in the bar. And then I was mentioning to JP something I overheard in the record store. We're in the Bay Area, so we still have record stores. And these two kids walking around. And by kids, I mean like 20-something, like 25. Old enough. Yeah. And they're walking around, and one kid says to the other kid, one 25-year-old says to the other 25-year-old, as they walk by a Black Sabbath album, like, hey, you ever heard of Black Sabbath? And the other guy's like, no, I don't know. Is that like one of those new indie bands? I don't listen to indie.
Yes! It sounds like a total indie band.
And I'm in there, and I don't know whether to punch this kid in his stupid face or to realize that I'm old now.
Well, what did the other kid know, or was he just like, I don't know?
No, I think the first kid knew, but his answer was like, no, but I don't really listen to him either. I don't know.
Well, because he had an older brother, and he had heard of them.
He had heard of them, but he didn't know. But since when are you allowed to be a young American person and not know who Black Sabbath is? When did that become legal in this country?
You are getting old.
Or I'm getting old.
And I'll tell you, anything to do with it. You guys heard of Mozart? Did any of us live when Mozart was alive?
You still know.
You know.
I'm telling you, I was really cross between punching him in the face or feeling just old.
I think that kid's just dumb. Because, I mean, like, if you ask, we have a generally young staff here, and I feel like every single one of them would know who Black Sabbath is.
Yeah, maybe they were just fucking with me. Maybe they were like, "Hey, look at the long-haired old dude.
Look at the guy who saw Black Sabbath live.
Never heard of him. Look at idiot over there. Let's walk by and go, hey, you ever heard of Black Sabbath?
No, you shouldn't have punched him, but you should have grabbed him here and run him out the store and say, you don't belong here.
Get out of this record store.
You deserve to be in
the entire drive up, it took us 4 hours to get here. 3 of those 4, we listened to almost all the Black Sabbath.
Yeah, all Black Sabbath.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Also, that's a true story.
Coincidentally, the same exact thing happened to me and Tyler last week in a record store.
You're kidding!
These little tiny fucking kids come up, and it wasn't Black Sabbath, but I found this rad old Cramps record, their second album.
Oh, nice.
And so I had it set next to me, and these little kids come up and grab my record. I'm like, hey, don't fucking take my record.
Settle down,
and they're
kids.
Like, who would name their album Cramps? Oh, that's so dumb. And I'm like, dude, give me
Wow.
my
I yell, I go, don't fucking touch the record. The guy drops
like,
it.
hey, that's good. Don't run off with that. that, you little snarky kids.
Because we only play vinyl at the brewery and the pub.
You're kidding. No wonder you don't get anything done.
Only vinyl. Yeah, we're always
They brew
flipping
with
records.
rocks.
Yeah. And so like when we find good albums on vinyl, it's like, okay, get that shit. So we're
Yeah.
like, wait, Cramps on vinyl? Yeah,
Love it.
That's a fucking Cramps.
That was the
I'm gonna
Cramps.
Punch you in the mouth.
Is that the new Britney Spears album? Yeah, the Cramps.
Even that's a dated reference
It
too
is
already. Yeah.
See that?
I'm glad we all want to punch kids in this room.
Right in his throat.
Oh,
actually.
it's strange because they're like one of those bands that everyone knows about, but you can't name more than 4 songs.
Right.
And the songs you can name are on their first album.
It's true.
You can't.
But they then influence like every band after them.
Of course,
so it's,
yeah.
so everyone.
That's what I mean. It's one of those things where like, Black Sabbath rules. Give me 4 songs. Fairies wear boots. I don't know. Fuck yourself.
But I swore for a minute that I was in a sitcom or something because I just couldn't believe the words. The follow up to "Do you know them?" was I don't know. Is that like one of those new indie bands?
It does sound scripted.
So I want to preface
sounds
this
super indie, too.
by saying I locked my door, but I've never heard of the Cramps.
That's okay. They're more obscure.
Tyler, go punch her in the neck.
Yeah, I'm going to bust this one out. One
Justin,
last thing to punching kids in the face, and I'll let you guys do your radio show. I promise I won't interrupt anymore.
Yes.
On the way up here, Sweet Leaf came on, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I was like, this song gets me so amped, like I would punch a little kid in the face. I swear to God.
Came on what? Like on the radio?
Yeah,
No, I'm not making this up.
On his phone, yeah.
Yeah, and we're
That's
like,
real.
yeah, fucking Sweet Leaf. Like after,
you would punch
and I
a
was
kid in
like,
the face out of enjoyment. Not out
I
of
would just
anger.
be like, I'm so pumped on this right now. Like
You're
a
getting
small
punched.
8-year-old walked up to me right now, knocking her right in the mouth. Swear to God, that came out of my mouth. And then Paul was asking me like, well, how old would the kid be? I'm like, yeah, like 8 or something.
No,
Just
I
like-
didn't prompt you.
how you guys-
I just want to punch a kid. Preferably, the kid would be like an 8-year-old,
Okay, I did say
like
that.
male. Like he would look at it and punch that fucking kid.
And at 7, he just wouldn't get it, but
He'd
8,
be a
he
little-
would understand.
This is so crazy. It's like an out of body experience.
He's a
Tell
little
them,
punk anyway.
What happened
Black
to
Sabbath.
you when you were 8 years old?
I don't want to talk about that.
See?
Yeah.
It all comes back. What do you think about your mom? Just kidding. Don't answer that.
There we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Somebody go find him an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Fucking come in here. I dare you.
I'm like an 8-year-old.
Just go let punch him. Let's slam him around
Yeah.
the wall.
Oh, just feel. Doesn't it
No,
just
I
like
get it.
immediately want to punch somebody in the
No,
face?
I get it.
I totally
Like
get
someone
it.
that can't punch you back like an 8-year-old.
That's
Yeah.
kid punching music right
Yeah.
there.
Where's some of my listeners who are commenting on the website earlier? I want to punch them.
You can't use seawater in a beer. You're an idiot.
This is what you hear. This
Yeah.
is how psycho Tyler gets. Like this turns on in his head.
Oh, my son last week, he's like licking the fat lip, and I go, what's the matter? He goes, well, I shouldn't, I got this in the mosh pit. I go, you want sympathy from me?
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, stop crying.
Wah.
kid. You should have
Don't
punched
go in
him
the
in
mosh pit.
Doc, you should have punched him in the face right then.
Well, it looked like I did already.
All right, we got to do a little beer news, right?
Yeah.
Please.
Who's beer news brought to us today by?
Wine and Hop Shop, Madison, Wisconsin's premier winemaking and beer making supply shop. If you're there in Madison, go shop at your local. And if you're not, go to wineandhop.com, and there's all sorts of goodies. Hey, before I start, you guys want a hit of this double IPA from DC Brow? This was brought in by one of our listeners, Jeremy Maldonado, who's out there in the bar. And I'm guessing he's thinking this is like an East Coast IPA that's the first, it's going to blow our minds.
I'll pass it around.
Something.
Yeah, I don't have a
Take
glass.
Beardy.
I'll taste out of
Yeah.
Beardy's or something.
I'm good.
Beardy, can I taste it before you taste it so your stupid beard doesn't get in it?
I've already
Black
rubbed my beard
Sabbath.
all over this thing.
You have? Several times?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's all hairy.
How do you think he keeps it red?
As long as we're doing that, speaking of the other coast, Sweetwater Brewing out of
It's good beer.
Atlanta is preparing for an IPO with the backing of private equity firm TSG Consumer Partners. The company is reportedly in talks with investment banks about a stock market flotation, put its value in the hundreds of millions of dollars for Sweetwater.
Really?
Yeah, the move is expected as soon as later this year. THG provided already a minority investment to Sweetwater earlier this year, and the company recently hired former Molson Coors executive Bill Waters as the CFO. They promoted their former CFO, Kim Jones, to CEO. Back in March, Sweetwater entered the Chicago market after a $19 million expansion. Output rose 24% to 192,500 barrels in 2014, so I did a little math on this, Jay, because I remember you doing your about $1,000 a barrel as the sort of guideline for a valuation, right?
Yeah.
So at 192,500 barrels, you're in the hundreds of millions of dollars, like $150 million.
Yeah.
Sweetwater would only be the
Sweetwater, yeah.
third craft brewery.
Let's start doing that. do shit like that.
Well,
scrap
the... Are you listening?
Scrap the
Let's
lava
try
rock.
that.
Yeah, how many rocks do they have?
Yeah, you guys are going to be valued.
Those guys don't rock at all.
Man.
Yeah, they're not worth shit.
$1,000 per rock, and then
divided by a gallon of salt water.
How many times it shatters?
So many buckets.
Behind
3 Black Sabbath albums on vinyl.
After Sammy and Craft Brew Alliance, which is like Red Hook, this is only the third publicly traded on a major stock exchange brewery. Of course, Libertine is going to be fourth, but in the meantime, Sweetwater is just the third. They have found success, Sweetwater, but their home state of Georgia is 47th in breweries per capita, so they're successful amongst lots of non-beerness.
And somebody smarter than me could correct me, and I'm sure they will in feedback. But I don't know that Craft Beer Alliance was an enormously successful IPO. I think that they've been sort of plugging along for years since they did it. Sam Adams, however, was a successful IPO. I think they're the first example of like a breakout IPO. You remember when the news kind of came out that the first craft beer billionaire was Jim Cook, and that was based on that. His was sort of a breakout IPO. But the Craft Beer Alliance, I think that includes Pyramid and some other breweries like that. And, I'm not saying those shares are worthless, but it's not some crazy victory. This is a ballsy move, I think, on Sweetwater's part.
Yeah, they didn't mention how Craft Brew or Sammy was doing, but yeah, I do read a lot of Sammy stock is. It makes sense, right? They're increasing their production. They're growing like 25% a year. Sammy is.
If you had bought Sammy right in the beginning, you'd do okay. I'm not saying they're going to make you a fortune either, but Craft Beer Alliance, that's just sort of where you keep your money till you want it back. And I could be wrong about that.
You
but,
don't buy a 12-pack of Widmer every night when you go home.
Yeah, and I'm not even going by the success of their brands. I just mean that IPOs in this business it's a pretty early. This is some groundbreaking stuff here.
Well, and they're still researching fundraising options, right? They're not guaranteed to do an IPO.
Well, you're right. But it
looks like they've been invested in and reinvested in. It looks like they're at the point where their shares, or the beginning shares, have probably been diluted to the point where the only way they can make good money is to get big, right?
This is is a good point.
Then you just start looking for more capital.
So you're right about that. So all their equity has been given out.
Yeah, maybe now they're down to maybe 10% of a great big pie rather than 50% of a really small one.
Smart point you make, Tasty.
To get to where they're at now, they might have had to brought in a bunch of venture capitalists.
That's what Tasty's saying, yeah.
Well, and so the venture capitalists are just wanting to cash out because they want to make their money. Yeah. They're like, we gave you a couple million 5 years ago.
19.
Right, yeah. We don't care where you're at. We want our money back. And so they have to make the IPO in order to cash out the VCs.
Right.
So I'm looking at the 5-year for Craft Brew Alliance. Looks like they started in the $6 range, and it was kind of up and down through 2012. They had a huge surge in 2013, all the way up to 17 and change per share.
Huge. Okay.
In 2014, and then it's been up and down, but in the last 3 months, big drop off from 11 something a share down to 8 something a share.
Okay.
So
Bye.
Well, there was a moment there. Shit. I stand corrected in the sense that if you bought in at 6 and you sold at 17.
Yeah, that's a big gain.
God bless you.
It's maths.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, Georgia sucks for breweries. The lawmakers there recently tweaked the state's beer laws, if you recall. I think I reported it, to allow now you can pay for tours there that come with up to 72 ounces of souvenir beer at the end, remember?
I love souvenir beer.
But they're kind of hamstrung, craft brewers are, by the inability to sell directly to consumers, and it remains to be seen if this deal is going to help that at all.
I like when you take your souvenir beer, you drink it at the brewery, then you store it in your toilet at home. It's awesome.
I love it.
All right, along similar lines, Lagunitas, coming back to this coast. Speaking of growth, fucking Lagunitas, they're on pace to grow 50% this year.
Something evil is happening in that brewery.
Honestly.
There was a soul that was sold to a devil.
Seriously.
There's no way. This brewery is incredible.
Yeah. With still being employee-owned or American-owned and shit like that.
And as cool as they are, there's none of it fits. There's something wrong. The devil is involved.
People say you can't function when you're high. Lagunitas.
Yeah. Right. I should go back to smoking weed, I think.
That's what's keeping us back.
I stopped smoking.
Rip a bong load, would you? The website would have been great.
We would have 15 locations by now and a website that's cool.
The chat wouldn't work. There'd be lots of cats everywhere. That's cool.
Well, this article names the devil, so hang on.
All right, what's happening?
Yeah, actually, we do have a devil's name. So Tony McGee ripped a pipe load and then explored the sale of an equity stake that would value his company. You want to guess what they are valuing Lagunitas at?
$7 billion.
A little low.
$200 million.
JP's about halfway there. $450.
Wow.
450. Lagunitas has reportedly been working with Wells Fargo to explore an array of strategic options for the past few months. As our good close personal friend, CEO Tony McGee, he's seeking backing to further expand the business. So he's talking with Wells Fargo, and one such option is this potential sale.
I mean, when that happens, that's like a chunk of your company gone.
Yeah, well, they're opening that giant brewery in Azusa, which is currently on fire, so which lends credence to your hell.
Hey, the devil is clearing a path for the brewery.
That's right.
It depends what your goals are. If you want to own 100% of something small,
yeah.
If you want to be, the best-selling IPA in 3 continents, maybe that's just
you go for it. And I'm not.
There's not 3 continents.
3 of them. 3 of them.
Come on.
There goes the pot argument.
What an idiot.
It's crazy.
This guy.
I mean, yeah, I think it's probably a good move for him. I wonder how much of the company has to be sold to get where he wants to be.
He's never going to pay off what he owes now, so why not just go forward?
Just go for it, yeah.
You can't ever get to zero, so...
The cool thing about it is, at this point, too, you don't owe anybody any money. You just file bankruptcy. You're never paying that shit back. Yeah. Whoever pays things back.
Get a fat check, build assets.
Yeah. In the beginning, he got by not paying his taxes. He could just start doing that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop calling him out for that.
Thanks, Obama.
It's in the archive.
Oh.
Do you remember he said that in 97, he sold half the company for $650,000? Half.
And then what happened? Did he get it back or something?
No.
I forget what the conclusion was.
I don't think he did.
That's true. So he had already sold half of it. So now he's selling half of his half.
Yeah.
But check out that guy who now could potentially turn his $650 into $250 million.
Yeah, that guy's the brilliant one.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that'll be...
If anybody's interested, Libertine Brewing Company is...
Yeah.
When are we going public?
Much lower numbers. Just,
I'll buy half.
Knock off 2 zeros of everything we've been talking about.
Is there like a Morro Bay credit union that might be interested?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm interested... Not only am I interested to see how this one plays out, but I'm interested to hear the beer nerds cry about it when it does happen. Oh, my God. They won't even... Now, how are they going to smoke weed?
It's going to be corporate weed, man.
Right. They're only buying it from dispensaries now.
All right. Changing gears. The Indianapolis Colts, for you football people out there, they were clobbered in the AFC Championship game last year, 45-7. One Indiana brewing company is getting revenge on the bottom of its beer cans. It's Sun King Brewing. You guys may remember Clay Robinson was on the show back in February 2012. Really good beer. They're out of Indianapolis, and they're taking shots at Tom Brady and the Patriots. They have stamped Tom Brady sucks, that sucks with an X, on the bottom of their cans next to the expiration date.
Wow.
It's funny, but it doesn't do anything to change the game. The Colts haven't beat the Patriots in a decade, and they're just getting their asses handed to them. But
it's a weird statement, too.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, why don't we stamp it on the bottom of our cans?
And you're going to call the guy that's clobbering you, you're going to say he sucks.
Yeah,
so what does that make you?
Although I also think it's kind of funny. Like,
I think it's after the Deflategate shit, right? It wasn't right after the game.
It's the cheating that it is a kind of a funny middle finger.
And it wasn't even kind of the higher ups at Sun King that did it. It was the guy who decides what gets typed on the bottom of the cans.
Right?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. So
you know this?
It wasn't a top level decision.
Oh, now I really like it.
Right, exactly. So the execs see this and they're like, oh,
yeah, but
we need to start talking about what gets written on these cans.
Yeah, but
did he get fired?
Before the people at the bottling line, they would just every day they would change it.
Yeah.
And then this came out, and the kid's name was, what the fuck is his name?
He had a nickname, Biscuit. They didn't refer to him by a real name.
I love this guy.
This kid's
He's still
name
alive.
is Biscuit. And he still has his job.
He does.
Kudos to Sun King for not firing him.
But he got moved to cleaning toilets.
They moved into marketing.
Yeah, everything's fine, but but they're like, and forgive me, Scott, if you're going to report it on it, but they're like, now every decision has to go through management.
So
that's
kind of too bad. So there were a bunch of them before this one, too.
Yes. Yeah, they were kind of... Biscuit apparently came up with witty things to put on the bottom of cans.
That's so rad. So, you go buy a 6-pack, you might get a new message.
Yeah, secret message from Biscuit.
Yeah.
I think if they would have fired Biscuit would have got a job real quick.
Yeah, I'm ready to hire Biscuit now. Biscuit.
They probably had to double his salary.
Scott, get me Biscuit on this program. I want him
We
to
need
call
a
it in
Biscuit.
next week.
How am I supposed to? I don't know his name.
Just call the brewery and go, we want Biscuit.
I want to talk to Biscuit.
I want to talk to Biscuit now. I want to interview him on the show. I'm
I think
serious.
it's a category in Adam and Eve.
All I need is 5 minutes with this kid. I want to know what the deal is
Make
here.
myself a note here.
And I want to know what happened. Like, so now he can't do this anymore. That sucks.
No,
No, it's just got to get vetted.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Someone
he can
else
still-
has to see
They're gonna spell sucks
the
right.
messages now.
Yeah, it's not SUX Biscuit.
Yeah, that's yes, please.
Yeah, get your shit together.
Oh, you need more letters? Oh, we'll get a new machine.
Yeah.
Give you like 35 words.
I like this idea.
Yeah. That's what we'll do. Develop systems for it.
All right.
A couple more. MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory has programmed 2 robots to deliver beers. They're called PR2 robots. They have coolers attached to them, and they're programmed to go into rooms and ask people if they want a beer. If the person says yes, the robot wheels over to a larger robot that places a beer in its cooler, and then it returns to the person.
Do you remember a minute ago when I was complaining about kids? These MIT kids, though, they're something
I
else.
bring a baseball bat, and I'd let that thing have it.
Well, how are they supposed
They know
to...
who Black Sabbath is, I'll tell you that.
No, they're too busy building robots to have listened to them.
That's the solution looking for a problem. Those guys need to get something more practical. But like, really, just to bring a beer?
Well, now
Why does it take 2 robots to
Go
do
get me
one
some
robot's
women.
job? Are the robots already unionizing so that way we have to have 6 people handle the beer before it gets brought to you?
Seriously, why couldn't there have been a beer robot and a handy robot?
Well,
Like,
did you
if
hear
do-
Tasty wants a robot to pimp for him? He said, go get me women.
Yeah, something really functional. Like
You need
what
a pimp
need.
robot?
Yeah. Beer, you can just,
Imagine if the folks
Instead
at
of 12-pack
NASA
on a coffee table.
in the 60s were like, the moon? Why would we want to go to the moon?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Look at this giant vibrator I built.
Well, just think if they thought, instead of building a rocket ship to go to the moon, if they said, hey, I want a robot to bring me a beer, we could have already had this technology 20 years ago.
And they'd be giving us handies.
Yeah.
Kidding me? NASA?
Clearly,
It's a
the-
I feel like
priority
that would
issue.
be a rough handy.
Listen,
Hey,
you take what you can
some
get.
like it that way.
Silicone
I'll
technology
program
has
it
come
right.
a long way.
Can I ask the fellas when they're going to release a beer called Handy, so then you can legitimately ask for a handy at the bar?
Well, they kind of do.
Yes.
It's called a shandy, but you kind of got to
It's
say it
different.
funny.
Handy. It's got to be just
Sorry,
called Handy.
shandy.
Tyler, you do dumb shit over there.
It's already done. Everything. Oh, well, we already made that beer.
Think
now.
about
It's
it.
already
You
done.
walk up to the bar and, hey, let me get a handy.
Love it.
And it have to be like a pale goes, so it's salty, pale.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely mirror it after.
You can call it salty semen.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Brewer, not Brooklyn Brewery.
No thanks.
What's 5 Point Brewery in Brooklyn? When I first went there years ago, I think they still have it. They had a beer, and you can only order at the bar at the time, called Sweet Action. So you'd go up and you'd go, "Hey, can I get some Sweet Action?" I thought that was fantastic too.
While we're talking about weird names, have you ever heard of Punjabi beer?
No.
In Colorado, there's a beer called Punjabi.
Okay. Just Punjabi in general. Yeah.
Like, that's not a good term
How's it
in my
spelled? Is it
Yeah.
spelled like the Indian state, or is it
Yeah,
spelled
it's-
like P-O-O?
Like I was reading, I was literally at a dinner in Fort Collins, and I'm like, yeah, but there's a beer called Punjabi. And actually, it was we were with Lauren Salazar
Yeah.
at dinner, and she goes, "Oh yeah. What's the big deal?" I'm like, "No, I don't think you understand. That's like a." It's like using like an N-word or something. Like you don't do that. And like,
No,
no, it's a beer.
I don't
It's
think
fine.
so.
It's a beer now.
From what maybe I
like-
grew up in a bad town or something.
Well, I
I don't know.
think,
But that is so.
No,
I was
I've
all
heard that
excited.
too.
So I'm like, I'll take the Punjabi. Like,
Yelling it.
bring it on down. Everybody's looking like, that's so weird. That guy's yelling the Punjabi.
That's weird.
really
well, 'cause,
excited.
like, it's from an Indian state. Like it's a state. I
But
believe
it's a
called,
derogatory
but
term,
it's called.
isn't it?
But it's
I've never heard it
Punjab.
as like a.
And so if you're from Punjab, you're a Punjabi. But if you use it as a like a blanket statement for every Indian,
Like,
Yeah.
hey,
then that's
Punjab.
different. Yeah.
That's
Okay,
bad.
that's what it is.
Yeah. And the
Well,
guy's
I
like-
thought it was hilarious.
guy's like,
There's a
I'm
commercial
from
beer
Micronesia.
called
What do you want?
Punjabi, and I'm like, oh yes, this is awesome.
You stood up on the
This is
table.
all I'm ordering the rest of the time. I'm in
You're the
Fort
type of guy
Collins.
that likes yelling out derogatory terms for
Yeah,
people in
absolutely.
public places.
How was the beer?
I don't remember. I was just so excited that it was
Tell you
called
what,
Punjabi.
it was cheap and it worked real hard.
Right.
So,
So the robots must be a precursor to like doing something else.
Yes, they are. Yeah, it is considered even groundbreaking. This thing that MIT did. It's not just for the beer guzzlers. They're hoping to use the robot to, like at emergency shelters, for example, take orders for water bottles and crackers. So deploy them to some hurricane ravaged whatever.
Sure.
This still doesn't sound groundbreaking to me. I don't
No,
know.
because like you can just Tyler knows you grab a 4-year-old and they can go get the water.
Right.
You
They
know.
can water your crop.
How is the robot
They can
cheaper than a
stomp your
human?
grapes for you. It's great.
And then in 4 years, you're going to get punched in the face by me.
And if I'm ever listening to Sabbath, they're just going to get punched right tonight.
I would take the robot and send him into Richmond to get my crack for me.
Now that's a useful robot because that's a dangerous activity.
It's a dangerous activity.
Make it yourself.
And
we
even
could have done that at the hotel down the street tonight, I think.
The robot or the crack?
Well, it'd be like a proactive robot because they're saying this goes into the room. So it would be like if it came into your office, Doc, and went like, "Would you like some crack, doctor?" And then you say yes, and then it goes off and does your bit.
Goes to Richmond.
Well, you have to go to the other. You have to go to that black robot to get the crack.
Doc, you had to do that.
The robot with the afro?
Yeah. But I didn't do that.
It went slowly downhill, and now it jumped off
Fell
a
off.
cliff.
One of us
and
idiots
then
had to do it.
exploded,
I'm not here.
And
I'm not here
now
right
it's
now.
on fire,
God.
and it's the current fire that's being.
Here, Tyler, go punch Doc in the
By
face. He's like a small child over there anyway.
He's a tall 8-year-old in the punch.
Okay, let me do one more, and I swear this is not going to offend anybody. I hope.
Right.
Are you guys ready to drink like champions in this room?
Yes.
Yeah, because you can now. Because Wheaties, yes, Wheaties, has partnered with Fulton Brewing out of Minneapolis to create a Hefeweizen beer called Hefewheaties.
Oh, God.
Why not? Wheaties is a wheat cereal. Hefeweizen is a wheat beer. General Mills has noted in a press release that while the beer will not actually contain Wheaties, very disappointingly, it is representative of the Wheaties brand. This is an official thing. It's going to be available for a limited time in Minnesota only, unfortunately. But they're saying, hey, we'll see how people react to it. If everyone loves it, which why wouldn't they? We'll obviously consider doing it on a bigger and more widely distributed scale.
Because it's a big wheat beer. No one likes
Will you do me a
American wheat.
favor and
Yes.
shoot me in the face
Yeah.
for another beer pun
Yes,
that I
I
do
will.
not need in my life?
So they're going to try to make sure that everybody in Minnesota loves it, and that's going to be
their test.
That's
yes.
the test,
That's
and
it.
if everybody there loves
That's
it,
the
then we
focus
all
group.
get it.
Yep.
Well, what I don't understand is it's literally missing the mark, missing the point of collab brewing.
Well,
you're just going to put your own
Unless you
brand
really
on
like
it,
Wheaties.
but there's no Wheaties in it.
Why
Like-
don't they put in 10 pounds of Wheaties
Yes,
in
and then they say
15
that
barrel
it's
batch?
made with Wheaties, and
Say
then
it is.
I think it would sell a little bit more, at least make a little more sense.
How do we know that there's no Wheaties in it?
They
'Cause
said
say it's no
Oh.
Wheaties in it.
They should
It
say
makes
there
no
is.
sense to me.
And Michael Jordan is not jumping on the can.
Yeah,
So I
is there
think
going to be
there's
an
a
Olympian
wrong-
on the can, or
Well, maybe us idiots can appear on the can.
Oh, yeah, I am
it's
very
people
athletic.
That are, Right, it's
Have you seen how high
successful in
Justin
your
can jump?
field.
Then I will reverse my decision to shoot myself in the face if they put me on the can.
Why not?
Well, that dinner guy
Drink
stayed
like
on
a
the-
champion.
Have you guys ever seen Hansen's Brothers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yes.
have. We have. Did we talk to them on the show, or was it at
no.
GABX?
No,
we
yeah,
talked to
yeah.
them?
I tried to get him on the show, but he never
Yeah.
heard from him.
Hop.
Which is
Agreed.
offensive.
Agreed. Yeah.
Hops,
They're way
hops,
too core for you
hops.
guys.
Yeah.
Are they some new indie
Who would
band?
name their album Hansen? How dumb.
I love that guy, Chris Hansen.
He's handsome.
Yeah.
That's
All
the
right.
news. There you go. Brought to you by the Wine and Hop Shop in Madison, Wisconsin. Wineandhop.com. They have like 100 different types of hops and 100 different types of yeast. And I don't know why you need that many, but go to wineandhop.com and check them all out.
Is there any like happy news? That was all just depressing stuff.
Yeah.
Welcome to the news.
Yeah. Have you never
All
heard of the
news.
show before?
Yeah.
Welcome to Moscow's world.
It's not just
Supposed to be
me.
a little happy.
Listen.
They
you
don't have
can't-
TV in Morro Bay,
Yeah,
or what?
see, you can't do happy news. There was a thing like 20 years ago, like I think Prince Charles asked, like, hey, for my birthday, I want all UK to do happy news. Literally, the entirety of the BBC ran like the trains are on time. No one died in Westchester. Like it was there's nothing there.
And nobody cared?
Yeah.
Breweries
Tyler
growing
cares.
and
He wants
making
some
money
happy
is
news.
not happy news?
No.
Oh.
It's
Weird. Okay.
No, because it's not us.
Right.
Oh, that's the sad part, right.
Here, I got some happy news. Levi Stadium is now announcing lower beer prices.
Hey, there, I like that.
Oh, we're
Pretty
going
good, right?
That's trendy.
down from 16 bucks
to 14.
$15.99.
Yeah, it's not even the tax. It's
It's a deal.
That's the new 49er stadium out here, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So
Where the
they,
Super Bowl will be held.
oh, that's right. So the beers probably are $16.
Oh yeah.
no, I was there.
They literally are.
And, yeah,
And?
$16.
You're kidding.
No.
me.
Yeah,
That's what they are.
Yeah,
For a
For
crap.
40 ounce of craft, right?
yeah, but it's a semi-big, but it's not huge.
Semi-big.
20 ounce.
20 ounce.
Maybe it's just a little bigger than a pint, but it's not like
I guess
22 or 26.
$16. When did we accept being violated in this way? Like we just said, oh, all right, well, it's okay. I'm at the stadium, so
and then
here you go.
And you wait in line for it.
Yeah, we haven't. I would never pay that much money for one beer. I would never do it.
You
I don't
paid
care how
$200 to see something you could watch on TV for free.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I got the best seat in my house every year for the Super Bowl.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got some feedback to do. Maybe we'll take your Drunk of the Week calls. I know we're going to play a couple of recordings. And we're going to keep drinking beer with the Libertine dudes.
Yeah.
So 888-401-BEER, that's the phone number. We'll be back in just about 5 minutes. Hang in there. It's the session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters.
Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Attention homebrewers, if you like making labels for your handcrafted awesomeness and wished more people could see how great you are, then check this out. GrogTag, the makers of custom reusable labels, and craftbeerandbrewing.com are hosting the first ever National Homebrew Label Awards. The top 10 labels will be featured at the 2015 National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego to more than 5,000 attendees, and more than $2,500 in prizes will be awarded. If you created a label at any time in the past year, you're eligible to enter. GrogTag and Craft Beer and Brewing have teamed up with great sponsors like More Beer and the Brewing Network to make this competition a great one to enter. Submit your entries between March 1st and June 1st for your chance at fortune and glory at homebrewlabelawards.com. That's homebrewlabelawards.com. Submit your label entries today. Good luck, and we'll see you in San Diego. Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater
for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to WilliamsBrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's WilliamsBrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Yeah! All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. A couple things left to do, like feedback. Feedback's brought to you today by our good friend John over at Beer Law Center. You can go to beerlawcenter.com. He can help you sort out your stuff like he does for us. Like he protects our trademark all the time. Poor bastard. Like every day I have to send him a new trademark violation, but he takes care of it. He does a good job, and he can do it for you. Go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. Dear Brewing Network, this is a very nice, formal letter we got. My name is Alex.
Hi, Alex.
I've been listening to the BN ever since I started homebrewing back in 2008. Since then, I've managed to turn my vice into my vocation. I am now brewing professionally for Hops and Grain in Austin, Texas, and still listening to the session. I cannot thank you guys enough for helping me make homebrewing so approachable and providing an entertaining way to learn. So, in September, I'm riding my bicycle from Austin to Denver with a bunch of other brewers and generally crazy people to raise money for prostate cancer. Did he say Austin to Denver?
That's a long way.
He did.
Those aren't like two cities in Texas next to each other.
Yeah, Denver, Texas.
From his friend Austin, who lives on 4th Street in Denver.
We leave September 6th and arrive in Denver 14 days and 1,400 miles later, just in time for the Great American Beer Festival. The organization is called 1,400 miles. And we're stopping along the way. We're just going to shop everywhere we go. Right. And,
It's called Purses for Prostate.
We're going to get different purses everywhere. We're going to get little change bags.
We're going to empty our purse so you can empty your prostate of cancer.
Ribbons for our bicycle handles.
Okay, yes.
I wonder if they're going to take a different route or a roundabout, because Google Maps is saying 918 miles.
Oh, well, they have to shop, so...
I think you can do like 40. How many miles can you do on a day?
Mall of America is way out of the way.
Me or them?
You know that bicycles can't ride on interstates.
Actually, in some stretches of interstate, it's allowed if there is no other path.
Okay, so they're going 500 miles out of their way?
Maybe.
All right. All right. Fine.
They're good. There are great handbags in Wyoming, okay? 1,400 miles is the organization, and they're stopping along the way to talk with men about the necessity of getting checked and not fear the finger. It's a great cause, and involves nothing but great things, bikes, beers, and prostates. Prostate health, anyway, he says. So he's wondering if the BN would like to get involved with 1,400 miles in any way. My gut tells me absolutely not, because it's 1,400 miles of riding a bike, and it has a finger with my prostate.
I think he probably means promote it.
Oh, anything would be greatly appreciated, he says. Donations to myself or to Team Hops and Grain, or even a shout-out on the show for 1,400 miles, which is a 501c3, and everything is completely tax-deductible. Thanks for your time. Here's some links to the page. So, if you want to help support this ride for prostate cancer awareness, it's 1400miles.com. All the other links are too long. So just go to 1400miles.com, and then you can do the rest there. Alex Greenwald is the one who sent this in, so maybe you can find him over there. Thanks for writing in, Alex. Good luck on the ride. I feel like bad things will happen to your prostate for sitting on a bike for 1,400 miles.
Are they going to not have seats so that way it's just a post simulating a prostate check?
That's the awareness part, Beardy. They're like, hey, look at this.
I think Tyler liked that when he spit beer out through his nose there.
I mean, it's a rough ride.
Yeah, that's what she said.
All right, Samson writes in, hey, what gives?
Charities. Herpes.
There are two people on Earth who still say what gives. Samson and probably Moskowitz with his old time.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, what gives? Hey. I never understand. All right. Samson writes in, what gives? By the time you're back on the air, it will have been like 6 weeks since Firestone Walker sold out. Meanwhile, Odell and Left Hand Brewing have given the proverbial finger to corporate beer. Huge news. Why has there been no mention of this?
We covered the Firestone Walker buyout.
Yeah, I don't know what Samson's talking about. Because for one, we took our normal week off. We take a week every month where we don't do a show. We covered the Firestone thing just like 2 days after it was announced. I believe it was announced on a weekend, and we were back on a Monday.
Yep.
I don't know. Odell and Left Hand said no. I don't know.
That's non-news. Imagine how that story goes. And in other news, Left Hand Brewing wasn't bought.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's getting all his information off of AM radio. Hey, what gives?
Hey, what gives? Hey, Odell has nothing better to do. So, Samson, I'm sorry, but we covered at least some of it. All right. Here, this one is from Angry Asshat Puppet Listener.
What?
And he writes in with I didn't make that up.
Are these real?
Look, it's right there on the paper, the digital paper. He writes in with some show suggestions.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Asshat. I love the show, and someone else has made this a suggestion a couple shows back to go back to your roots. I, too, love listening to interviews with young brewers and industry insiders, but it's time to get in touch with where you started. I love to hear shows with Chris Graham on equipment upgrades, or for the noober, that's his word, not mine, or starting equipment. I know these shows have been covered in the past, but that's been like 10 years ago now, so it's time to revisit some of the subject matter that I hope this all into this wonderful program. Thanks again. That was his sentence, not mine.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We're doing our best over here, okay?
He should start his own show.
Yeah, and you know what? Just start your
About
show.
grammar.
Go listen to our old shows and then repeat them on your show. I mean, I get that we're
Aren't they all available online? Can't you go back and listen to all those?
all 10 years, man. Every single one of them.
Technology has changed so much. Not a brew kettle anymore.
Yeah, it's
hot rocks production.
Yeah. Have you heard about this new technology, brewing with rocks?
Yeah.
All right. Well, today we did a whole show back to our roots. Then, all right, we
sure did.
Today's gadget
rocks,
was
not our roots.
rocks.
Back to our rocks.
His great grandpa's roots.
So, yeah, look, I do get your point, and from time to time we do like to go back to old topics, but I'm not going to lie, it's kind of boring for us sometimes. Like, if we have to go back and go, because I have to ask the same question, I got to go, so how do you clean your ball valve? Or
you disassemble it all the time, each time, or what?
What does CIP stand for?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm just being honest. Like, I get a little bored. So if I have to go back and rehash these shows, I know that like the magazines do it, right? Because they've been doing this for longer than us even. They have to rehash stuff. They get a new author to do it every time. Well, I might get a new guest, but I still have to go, so what's the difference between like a wide kettle or like a tall kettle? And is that burner different than the other burner? I have to do it in this voice, too.
I don't know, baby.
Wait, actually, is there a difference in that?
Yes. That's it, right? You want the answer.
Well, even Mythbusters will go back and
they do
reiterate a show. Yeah.
Great. So I got to be like the fucking gingers on the Discovery Channel now? Sorry, Beardy.
Neither of us are. So, Angry Puppet Brewer or whatever.
Yeah.
If you know what'll help, send me an outline. Email me and give me an outline of what you would like covered and what hasn't been covered before and what might be different now.
Yeah,
there you
and
go.
that makes it a lot easier.
Clearly, we can't do it.
Yeah, then
So
Scott
you
will
do
trick me into doing it. So do that. Send the show ideas to Scott@thebrewingnetwork.com, and then he'll trick me into doing old shows where I sit here and I stab myself in the eye with an ice pick.
I guarantee you it'll just come to feedback, and it'll be nothing like what we just talked about.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for kettle geometry to actually come up as a topic for a year now. I'd love to talk about the ratio difference between the height and the width of the kettle.
I hate
What is
you.
this, Brew Strong? Get out of here.
Sorry.
Imagine how much Beardy would bore me on a show like that. I have to listen to him never shut up with his stupid questions.
Can he bore you more than 100%? Is that possible?
You want to try to find out?
Fuck you too, Beardy.
What a fight. There's only one way to find out.
God. This is the only time I want a sound effect, Moscow. I just put the shotgun sound effect on your computer, and you can use that as much as you want. Me shooting myself in the face.
Oh, shotgun. Okay, I'll get that.
that come from?
All right, Bungchuz writes in, this is a correction from the Cellar Maker show, titled Dear Dongs and Bevo.
Hi.
You're not a dong, Bevo.
I would like to make a correction to the session featuring the wonderful gentleman from Cellar Maker. The song Blood and Thunder is on Mastodon's second studio album, not the first.
Idiot.
Idiot! Really? This is the feedback that we get.
They have a beer, don't they?
I leave for 1 week, and you make that colossal of a mistake.
That's
Cellar
cool.
Maker did a collab with Nate, and they call it Blood and Thunder.
I think they're so.
That's not pedantic. That's
I have a.
Oh God! Here we go.
You said he was the smart one, Tyler.
I told you.
Yeah. He knows big words, and he can tell if a kitchen is dirty or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty good.
All right, so there you go. Blood and Thunder's on the first album. He also wants to know what happened to the Brewcaster Challenge. Moscow, what happened to the Brewcaster Challenge?
It's coming back.
All
yeah,
right.
we're going to do announcements for the next round next week.
Next week?
Oh, we're going to finish this thing?
Yes, we are.
I think Taste and I should have
Now
a
that I
rematch
can't
because
brew
that
anymore?
was
That's
bullshit.
right. I was just trying to build suspense for a year.
Do we know who, like, where we are in the situation?
No,
Who
I haven't
are our
figured that
winners?
out yet.
It's Tasty and Doc are the finalists, I think.
I think we have more than. I think we have
Well,
2 rounds
if-
to go.
In the first place?
A final 4, I should say.
Oh, we do?
I believe so. I'm basically waiting on Spider Wrangler to get back to me with
To
the
tell you your
info
job?
for where we were. No,
Scott's too busy.
I'll figure it out.
There's a lot going on.
Yes, Tasty?
Yeah, Spider Wrangler's busy.
Each of us individually know whether we won or lost, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Because agony defeat.
I won.
So you're in it,
No,
and
yeah.
Doc's in it,
Right. So who
and Jamil's in it.
Okay.
No.
No.
No, Jamel got out.
Oh, you
Yeah,
beat
Scott
Jamel?
might be in it.
Oh, so you're in it?
I lost to Doc.
Oh.
You lost to Doc. That's all right. I think it's just down to Tasty and Doc in the first round. There was a bunch of we thought of
Has anybody
doing
never lost?
the secondary rounds. I think just
You guys were
two.
doing a losers bracket also.
Yeah,
so
there's-
that might be what
Oh,
he's
that's
saying
what
is
he's
this
saying.
is
Yes,
the other
we're
round.
down to a winners bracket and a losers bracket.
Okay.
What about Nate? Nate lost to somebody?
Yeah.
Doc in the first round.
So
Nate
it's
got out in the first
so
round.
it's Nate against JP or something in the losers bracket.
Maybe.
I feel like.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, we'll know by next week.
Well, Spider Wrangler's finished with his doctorate.
Yeah.
So, then he can do Scott's job and your job, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Beer writes in. Lunch meat, 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 boobies, 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 boobies. That's all. But seriously, lunch meat really helps my sanity.
Clearly.
How bad is it? Hasn't been on in a while.
It's actually Spider Wrangler getting his doctorate, and then he ran out of episodes, and now he's...
P.S. How do I donate? You hit the donate button on the new website. Here's how much I don't care about lunch meat. I didn't deliberately. I genuinely forgot to move lunch meat from the old site over to the new site.
Garbage.
And so if you look at the new site, like all of the shows are listed out. There's so many shows. Lunch meat's not there. I didn't even think about it until I read this email.
And now you're going to correct it.
I don't know. Why? What's the point?
Now it's lost. It's lost in the internet now.
I mean, it's one of those things where if I didn't really care enough to remember it in the first place, do I really care
You're
about
not
it
the only
now?
one.
Question.
People love that show.
Sorry.
Yes, Tyler.
What exactly is lunch meat? Because at GABF 2, maybe 3 years ago,
Yeah.
you guys had a shirt on the rack.
Yeah, good
It
shirt.
was a barfing unicorn.
With a
That
rainbow.
was then like
I
smiling
almost
with
wore
the rainbow.
that one tonight.
I almost wore it too because I bought the shirt and I was like blacked out drunk walking
Yeah.
around GABF and I was like,
I think I remember you now.
Oh my god, the fucking Barfy! This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And I bought the shirt and I like only wear it on very special occasions.
Of
when
course.
I'm, like,
Weddings.
and then I
As you
didn't
should.
know like that's a
Bat
show.
mitzvahs.
It was a show.
Okay.
It's a show that
It's a show and my favorite shirt of all time.
Go to the Brewing Network. Oh, wait. It's not up there.
I can't actually. I
You can
genuinely.
subscribe in iTunes.
Well, I don't give a shit about the show.
didn't even
Whatever
cross
happened
my
with
mind.
that shirt was the greatest thing since.
A
like,
listener drew it. It was
a good shirt.
done in MS Paint, in case you couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell. It looked very professional. Yeah.
Subscribe on iTunes. You'll love the show. On your drive back, it'll be a great time for you.
Yeah, I don't know how to use that stuff.
Smart guy can do it.
I might have.
Smart
I
guy.
might have accidentally removed it from iTunes
You're
at
a
the
piece
same.
of
No,
work.
I didn't do that.
You're like
But
the
I did.
worst.
I am surprised. I didn't realize I hated it that much that I would forget even
I don't
to
know how you could
move
hate
it from.
That's the single greatest thing I've ever done in my life.
What is the barfing unicorn? Like, what's the?
if Tyler, if you have to ask,
He's barfing rainbows.
you
No,
know.
because we were going to do a beer with a barfing unicorn just over my the shirt I had, and I was like, "Wait, I probably should get the story." That was one of my questions.
We
for
have
you
beer
guys.
lost on our side.
Me explaining it to you would be like you explaining how you use rocks to brew during this.
You won't be able to wrap your
nearly
head around it.
impossible.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a beer with a barfing unicorn.
No,
on it.
because we'll sue you. But you can license the image.
God damn it! We really want to make a beer with a barfing unicorn.
Do you remember?
I
Jay,
think you can use a different barfing unicorn. You just can't use our barfing
Yeah, no,
unicorn.
I'll draw
I don't
my
think
own
we have
barfing
the market cornered on barfing unicorns.
I can even give you the name of the guy who drew that one.
Yeah.
And you can have him draw you another one.
No, that's not acceptable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you started hating it? When did you turn the corner? Because at one point you liked it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just became...
No. He never condoned it. Ever.
I never
started
endorsed that program. Me and JP. Okay. I started it because we needed a place to not do what we're doing now, which is fuck around too much on the normal program.
Yeah.
So I thought that if JP and I would do that on a separate program, this show would be more organized.
Wow, you were...
And it never really
wrong.
worked. Anyway, so it was a failed experiment.
Sometimes they do it
with
at
a rad shirt.
Sometimes they do the show at night. What's it called?
Dark Night Meat?
Dark meat.
Dark meat.
It's classic. Come on.
I don't think it was a failed experiment because the show was a success.
Yeah, what's so failed? This sounds incredible.
It's only because they're not doing it, so everyone is jonesing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we were to do the show every week, people would realize what a piece of shit it is, and nobody would care.
You could air it over the Hop Grenade PA system, and the lunch crowd would be huge.
We did do our last episode from the Hop Grenade, and it was a good episode, actually.
Oh.
I chose not to run the speakers out there because we were new, and I'm a pussy.
Were you doing Lunch Meat Olympics?
No, it was after that. But it was a good show.
All of them are good shows, Justin.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. And there's so much good
Each
lunch
and every
news
one
out
in their
world.
own right.
Chat room really, really, excuse me.
You
would
can't.
like
You can't
some-
trust
some
those
lunch
people.
meat.
You can't. The people in the chat room cannot be trusted. So don't take their advice. All right, last email. It's our spam of the week. Joe writes in. First, I need your reply. Hi, I have mailed you a couple of times already, but it seems there's a problem because I haven't heard back from you. We provide email marketing service, and we can generate your new business leads and increase your sales. Please reply today so we can go over options for you. Did you respond to Joe? We do need new advertisers.
Why? You're never responding.
I mean,
every week. No,
Why are
I
you
didn't.
ignoring Joe?
Yeah. I feel bad for Joe.
It's great, but I think there's a problem. Well, the problem is you're spamming me, dude.
Yeah.
What about those wanting coaster guys? Do you ever get those emails?
Yes.
I love that. I am most
what's the
benevolent
scam?
fan from
There's gotta be a
Bulgaria.
scam.
Please send coasters
Does anybody know
and
what
beer
the
labels
edge
and
on
trucks.
that is?
Please.
I think they're using it as insulation in their tin huts in like the Philippines or something like that.
There's got to be an edge. There's got to be an angle to it. I've like racked my brain for years trying to feel like, okay, what are they trying to? Is it like
Right.
when I send them a coaster and it's like, hey, and my buddy wants to get over to America for $100. Did you really?
Yeah, well, they're all like Eastern European and Balkan, and I'm like, oh, that country's fucking cool. Let's send them some labels.
So you've sent it?
Yeah.
You're
And then what
perpetuating
happens?
this issue.
They send postage already. You just have to put your thing in there.
They take your label.
Still, fuck you. No way.
Yeah.
They take your label to a Xerox machine and then run off a 100-barrel batch with that
I
label
hope
on
so.
it.
In reused plastic bottles.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Plus the postage they send you has anthrax on it.
That's so cool.
No wonder you're so weird, Paul.
He's all anthrax.
You're all anthrax.
You know what anthrax does? It makes you brew with rocks.
Yeah.
Great band, though.
There's got to be an edge.
All right, that's your feedback today, brought to you by our friend John over at Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com. Should we wrap up our Twitter game? We're about done here, I think. Before we do that, don't forget you can go over to adamandeve.com right now. And if you use coupon code BNARMY, that's BNARMY, you can buy all the dildos you want. Not exactly. You get 50% off just about any one item. And
both Tyler and Tasty started double fisting cocks at their mouth.
Switched.
That webcam was on, right?
All innocent.
Is there any
Correct
way else
moment.
to do it? I mean, one is just so boring.
What
No.
is Adam and Eve? You're sponsored by a
Yeah.
We're like an adult product.
Yes, sir. You no longer have to go to that creepy corner store. You can go to adamandeve.com right now. Use coupon code BNARMY. And here's what you get. You get 50% off just about any one item. You get free shipping. You get 10 free adult DVDs.
Of your choice.
Cool,
You get a secret gift for her. You get a secret gift for you. Yes. You get a secret gift for both of you.
Whoa! Yeah.
All by using coupon code BNARMY at checkout. This is not a joke. Go
My
help us out.
anniversary's on the 19th. I think I just figured out what I'm doing.
BNARMY. That's your code. You're going to get
Good
a
thing I
great
listened
deal.
to BN Army for this great deal.
You're going to have a great anniversary. You're going to think of us that night, and it's going to be wonderful.
Meet a new friend.
Yeah.
You'll be thinking about us the entire night.
That's right. All right, go check them out at adamandeve.com. What was our Twitter game tonight, JP?
Well, we were wondering who we should send to go fight the California wildflowers. Flowers.
The flowers?
Oh, it's such a problem. The flowers are everywhere.
Dude.
Get these poppies out of here.
It really pisses me off.
You're just driving down the road, and they're all pretty and shit.
I do burnouts on
Fuck
them
you,
all the
flower.
time.
Put the Sabbath on.
Taking my CO2, you bastards.
Yeah. How old is this flower? 8 years old?
The song just makes me want to punch a flower in the face. All right, what was it really? Wildfires.
Wire fires.
Those ones.
Yeah.
All right.
Who should we send and why? Al Snyder says we should send over Sam because he would just go, hey, at the flames with douche power.
It's true. That does put out fires.
That would prevent a lot of deaths.
He spells
That makes sense.
But, yeah. Hey. Scotty B. Brewing says Warren because he could suck up a bunch of water in his beard and wring it out on the fires.
Gross.
That's pretty good. Jeff Granick says it's a toss-up. Bevo, when she was lactating.
Just like fire hose nipples?
Yeah, apparently. Or JP, who can bore anything to tears. The fire will cry itself out.
Is this a legitimate show?
No.
What did I just drive up here
This
for?
is all the warm-up. We're actually going to do the show in about an hour.
Is this thing?
We took it off record.
So do we need to go further? Because I think that one might have.
I thought that was pretty good. Daniel Stokel says, I'd say tasty because when he rambles, all the oxygen leaves the area, thus snuffing out the fire.
That's just yeah, that one's just mean.
Scrappy Hound says Moscow's tears after another mean feedback email would probably be pretty effective. Baru says Bevo, she's the smothering type.
I will smother you.
I'm gonna put her on. I'll put her on the list.
She's threatened to choke people a lot.
Yeah. Pete DeDink says Nate would shred that fire to shit.
That one's all right.
Okay. Mike B says Justin will probably forfeit so he doesn't get booed. Layers.
Who's going to boo me? There's a lot of layers to that.
Get it?
Do you want me to put that on the list?
I liked it.
Well, it's just like a deep cut to you.
Jason Stark says Nicole talking about Bressie Ranch is sure to send the fire running the other way.
Who?
Also mean.
Yeah. Old Prospector says, considering that the Cali Wildfires sounds like a junior division gymnastics team, I'd go with JP.
Wow.
I'd go see the Cali Wildfires.
All right.
Brendan Abbott says, none of you could fight the fires. You'd all be trying to turn the truck into a mobile tap room.
True.
That was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Clayton says, maybe none of you, but maybe Libertine needs to use the wildfires to boil their beer.
Well, the only one that we lulled at was Bevo lactating and JP boring everything to tears.
Or the Sam screaming, hey. That was pretty. We laughed at that one, too.
Not quite as much.
No?
I think we roar laughed at the Bevo lactating and JP. Can we do that? Can we just call that our winner? All right.
Or Growlnick, whoever.
All right, Growlick, or whatever your name is, send an email to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. She will make sure you get taken care of and entered into the competition to go on the Labruski cruise, which is exciting. Very exciting. Do you want to do any of the Drunk of the Week voicemails?
I have 4 of them, and they're all under a minute.
All right, let's go for it.
Fuck you, Push. Why the fuck are you telling me what button to press? This is Stud Monkey calling in for Drunk of the Week. I have drank a lot of beer.
Go Pish.
Several polar beers, Pabst Blue Ribbons, Miller Lights.
All the good ones.
Lots of tequila.
Wow.
I'm really drunk. I am in Zion, Illinois, sitting at a campfire, stumbling around, like hiding around the back of the house because, God forbid, I want everyone to know I'm fucking calling for Drunk of the Week. So, well, cheers, boys.
So he's basically sitting at like a backyard campfire, and he went around the front of the house to call us.
I think it's in California.
What was that dude's name?
It sounded pretty cool.
Thud Monkey?
That's Thud Monkey.
You gotta be,
That was like Thud Monkey.
you gotta be drunk to stumble around while sitting at a campfire at a house.
I'm confused because this is not like the easiest show to find.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it's like, oh yeah, everybody. No offense, guys.
No, we make it difficult.
But
How dare you?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to call in for Drunk of the Week to like a hardcore craft beer podcast,
Yeah.
and you drank fucking Miller Lite and
Pabst
and tequila?
It happens, man, every
I'm
time.
so confused right now. Like, why would, like, what do you even, how did you even find this? Like, I don't, that's great. I mean, awesome. Good for you, but that's...
These guys are about function, not form.
That's
Yeah,
right. We're
that's,
just lucky.
But do they not listen to the show? They just wait for the Drunk of the Week? And
I think so. We give stuff away. So.
Yeah.
Like,
I
we give
thought it
away
was
free
cool.
Pabst, so...
You thought it was cool?
Yeah, I like that kid. I think he's a winner.
Thanks, Paul.
He's got my voice.
I'm pretty sure that's not a boy.
No, he's a little kid.
Yeah,
He's like
it was an 8-year-old.
Let's
punch him.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. He's a non-Black Sabbath listening to
damn
little
it.
boy.
All right, here's another one.
Hey, this is Spark Zoo, Talk Beer. We got a bunch of the Colorado folks. We're drinking a lot of beer. We're drinking the Rural Turtle Lower, and it's really good. And we're pretty drunk, and cheers.
So
see, that's genuine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rural.
Anytime you put on a redneck accent and your friends go woo, you're probably drunk. Like, he's not overdoing it. He's not overselling it.
He's not overselling it, but I think he's fairly sober. He composed a very coherent email. It had a beginning, middle,
Rural is good. It's good beer from the Rural. I want to thank Jay Goodwin. He's a good brewer. Thank you for the Rural. Turtle Lower.
There you go.
Was that a second call?
No, that was...
What was the name of that person?
That was Quirk Zoo, I think, from Talk Beer.
Hello?
Why can't people just call him with a name? Hi, it's Jason. I'm drunk. What happened?
Thank you for your time.
Goodbye.
All right, go ahead.
Hi, kids.
Win.
Oh.
Win.
It's B. That's B-double-E. Kids, stay in school. Don't drink too much. Just do your ABCs, your P and Qs, because otherwise you're going to get fucked up.
There you go. That's B. B-double-E.
Winner.
You guys so creepy.
Are we voting on this?
We will vote at the end.
Sitting in a tree or something.
I literally got shakes, like EBGB shakes.
It was a little creepy. All right, and here's one more from a very drunk and very loud Spider Wrangler. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go to the beginning.
Hey!
This is Spider Wrangler, and I'm with my softball boys, and we just fucking won the championship. We fucking won after 30 years. We are the champions of the fucking league, and we've been fucking drinking since we finished the last game. And I'm calling in to say, fuck yeah, Nuggets!
They've been playing softball for 30 years?
Is that even possible?
I don't think so.
He was 4 playing softball.
I like Spider because he's eating the phone.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So B just called because he wanted to be Drunk of the Week tonight, and I just told him we just listened to your voicemail, and he was like, "Oh, I left a voicemail."
Why did you hang up on him?
Yeah.
I think he actually hung up before I.
Was he drunk now?
Not as drunk as that.
Okay.
And also, you know the creepy guy with the dog that doesn't have back legs from Family Guy?
Yeah.
Remember his name?
Oh, yeah, Herbert the
Yes,
pervert.
Herbert
Did you
the
say
molester.
doesn't have back legs?
They don't work.
As opposed to front legs?
He has front legs. He drags his back legs.
That's
when he walks.
Herbert the pervert.
Got
It's
it.
Herbert the pervert. Anyway, he sounds just like B.
Come on, Jesse. Come on, Jesse. Go get the paper, boy.
All right, so here's what we have to vote on. We have Thud Monkey. That was our first call tonight.
At the campfire, stumbling around the house.
Thank you. Then we have Quirk Zoo.
Or something from Talk Beer. Yep.
What else did Quirk Zoo do? Anything?
He was with a bunch of the people from Talk Beer. They were drinking the Rural.
Oh, right. They did the redneck accent. All right. And then you have B. And then you have Spider. So now you know we're going to go back through the list. You're going to raise your hand for who you vote for. Raise your hand if it's Thud Monkey. All right. Nobody cares about you, Thud Monkey. Raise your hand if it's Quirk Zoo. The Colorado peeps. We got one vote for Quirk Zoo from the Ginger. And then,
Beardy, what's up with that?
Not me.
B-double-E. Oh, got both of Vivos votes. Plus me and Tyler and Paul all voting there.
Oh, and
so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 votes, and then Spider Wrangler. If it's Spider Wrangler, that's 4 votes, 3 votes actually. 3 votes for Spider Wrangler. That
just
means
on the creepy level.
Yeah,
that was
BEE is our drunk of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah. All right, sorry, Spider. Congratulations on your doctorate, though, you drunk.
And your softball championship.
Yeah.
You know what his doctorate was? His thesis? Exploring how pheromones work with spider mating.
Wow.
So he watched a bunch of spiders fucking for like a year.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating.
So hot.
Of all the problems in the world to devote our humans' intellect towards.
Yeah, well, these are the problems we need to know.
Can't imagine a more important one.
Right,
yeah.
this is it.
No, he's actually very valuable. I've found spiders in my house and texted him pictures of them and been like, "What is that?"
And he goes,
And
"Run!
he's like,
You're going to die."
It's cool. Just
that's the
it's
AIDS
fine.
spider.
You're not going to die.
Just don't make it angry.
You know, I had at my house yesterday.
Don't feed it after midnight.
This weird phenomena. I called you about it, Doc, but you were busy or something.
Or something.
I come downstairs.
It was late.
Sometime in the morning, and there are about 50 large, black, yet very lethargic flies, like on my kitchen dining room window, the one that goes outside.
Amityville horror.
And they're everywhere. It's a freakish thing. And they're not flying around. They're just...
On the outside or the inside?
Inside. And they're chilling. And I don't know where it came from, and it's freaking me out a little bit. And I just kind of forgot about it because I just went to work. Kate comes home and sees it, and now she's totally freaked out because it's a weird phenomena.
No, it's not.
So I was about to call you, Doc, because I was like, I know that Doc knows what this is.
You have a dead rodent in the space under your house.
That's what we ended up Googling. Yeah. Because I was like, well, I don't smell anything, and I don't see any maggots, and what is going on? But it's either in the ducts or under my house, right?
Yeah, it's under your house. And the best way to get rid of them is the vacuum.
That's what I did.
And actually, if you throw a piece of something with some bug spray on it in the vacuum, it sucks them in there and kills them.
And kills them right away?
Yeah.
So eventually whatever they're living in is going to like decompose enough, right?
Yeah, and then they'll go away.
That's what I was hoping to hear, because I'm not about to crawl into my house and look for some dead animal.
It'll stop smelling and everything.
You'll never find it. Even if you get that smell, you'll never find it.
Okay. Well, we don't smell anything, because that was the first thing I said to her. I said, something's dead. The only thing that's got me weirded out is that I don't smell anything dead. But
so you start getting a bunch of flies in the house, and there's something dead.
Once the maggots are nothing to eat, then they don't turn into flies
produce
anymore.
So it turns out these type of flies even have like a name, like they're ball flies or something, because they're known to be large and lethargic and suckable by a vacuum.
Yes.
Because they can't like get away. But it's creepy because you come downstairs and they're just sitting there watching you,
like Amityville horror,
like BEE. Like they seem like
they're waiting for you to die.
Can we hear that one more time? Is there any way to
Sure.
It sounds like you just described tasting together.
Oh, you want to hear the whole thing?
Yeah, there you go.
Let's do it again.
Hi, kids. It's B. That's BEE. Kids, stay in school. Don't drink too much. Just do your ABCs, your P and Qs, because otherwise
your P and Qs.
That's it.
Can somebody send me like a link to that?
You want that to be your ringtone?
Yeah.
He's looking at us through binoculars across the park right now.
God.
You want us to, we can probably hire him to do your email message,
If that guy
your
walked
voicemail
on the
message.
other side, like if I was walking, my 2 daughters were like going, and I saw him walk on the other side of the street, I would murder him just on GPs and like just.
I'll tell you, this could be it can go like this. Hi.
How do you know he's not their second grade teacher?
You've reached Tyler from the Libertine Pub.
Yeah.
Hi, kids.
I'm not available right now.
We're joking, but that shit's sick.
Yeah, he's a creepy dude. We're going to meet him sometime at some event. And, all right. Is that it?
Yes.
Extras, yes.
We picked a Twitter winner. Yeah. We picked a Drunk of the Week.
We're done.
Yes.
All right, good.
What happens next week?
Next week on the program, first of all, we're re-announcing the Brewcaster Challenge, the finale of the Brewcaster Challenge, which is at least 2 brews.
So next week we'll know who is in the finale of the Brewcaster Challenge.
Yes.
And then also we have a brewing company from South Korea on the program whose name I can't pronounce yet.
Galmeji.
Galmeji.
Yeah, it's the only one as far as I know.
Are they in studio?
Unfortunately, no. But we will have their beer.
They're flying in.
Yeah, straight from South Korea. But we have their beer.
On a
Yeah, we will,
shipping
yeah.
container.
Not only will we have...
Yeah, we sent the BN shipping container for them. It's really comfortable.
Not only will we have their beer, the owner brewer still home brews, so we will have his pro beer and his home brew.
Okay, nice. Sounds legal. All right, so they're on the program next week, and then that's all I have for you. JP, are you going to get us out of here?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. I want to thank you dudes from the Libertine Pub for coming in here, Tyler and Paul. It's been a blast hanging out with you. Thanks for the great beer. Seriously, that's some awesome beer.
Yeah, no kidding.
We might have to open another one before we leave the vicinity.
We got plenty of garbage to drink if you want to drink.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, good shit, guys. They're making great beer down there. Go see them in Morro Bay or check them out at thelibertinepub.com.
1234 Broad Street, San Luis Obispo, California.
Or you can call them at 555. It just sounds fake. I don't know.
Yeah,
for 1, 2, 3.
805-548-BEER.
There you go.
That's 2337 for those of you who don't know.
It's pretty.
Libertine Brewing Company at Facebook.
All right, get us out of here, JP. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. The Morro Bay hipsters from the Libertine Pub made the trek to the studio to talk about raw beer, hot rocks, and assault on a minor. Learn more about these things at thelibertinepub.com. If you desire to hear JP drone on about things other than beer, check out his Disney-centric podcast, Ears Up. Check it out over at earsuppodcast.com. There's even a real cool churros shirt for sale over there. Go be cool or something. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. I didn't write anything for Warren because who gives a shit? Production director on the session has been Pushy Jack. Today's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP and Bevo love the new chat room and think it's really great. In fact, the entire new site looks so amazing and wonderfully error-free. And your host was Justin Crossley.
Yay!
Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP